Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. American Comics. A salted fish, you will become a saint if you hang up. Chapter 21. Now, the performance of Lin Nan, one of the three geniuses, makes Casas very surprised. Even a little bit jealous. Casas found that there was something wrong with his mood. Not really, not really. Why is he, a top mage who has experienced many battles, jealous of a junior mage? No matter how talented he is, he still has to go through the baptism of battle. Otherwise, you will just become a walking nerd like Hamel, nothing more. Neither can a stubborn person like Wong who only knows how to fight. They must be as talented as themselves, possessing both theoretical knowledge and combat experience, as well as the ability to improve and create magic. To be the top and most useful genius. Lin Nan has shown his talent, but there is still a long way to go. Nothing to fear. There is no need to be jealous of this. So, he said, flowers in the greenhouse will not grow into eagles without experiencing wind and rain. Lin Nan was a little confused after hearing this, and asked, why do you want to grow into an eagle if you talk a lot? Do you want to mutate? Casas originally had a serious face and wanted to pretend to be serious, but was shocked by Lin Nan's question. I couldn't think of the right words to respond. Wang Zi is pissed laughed out loud. This Casas has been unhappy with him for a long time. Although his wife and children passed away, everyone felt sorry for it. But he has been here at Kamar-Taj for so many years, and he always has a straight face, as if he is bitter and hateful, and looks like he is the murderer. No one who stays with him for a long time can stand this Sima face. Whenever he arrives, the atmosphere drops by 20 degrees. Recently, the forces in the dark space have begun to cause trouble, and the Ancient One Mage joins him to shoulder the burden of saving the world. This makes the atmosphere of Kamar-Taj lively. Now, Lin Nan, a silly boy, dared to confront Casas directly. What a talent! You have done something that no one dares to do. You are indeed a rare super genius with extraordinary talent. I'm optimistic about you. Wang's heart should be the richest and liveliest it has been in recent years. Hamel's feelings were similar to Wang's. Not to mention how relieved he felt when he saw Casas deflated. You know, he also considers himself a genius. Since Casas arrived, he has been stepping on him. This frustration can be imagined. Now, Lin Nan has emerged. Not only is he more talented than Casas, but he also dares to directly confront Casas verbally. Hamel is like eating ice cream on a hot day, it's so refreshing. Casas was also a little confused after being criticized by Lin Nan. After all, ever since I came to Kamar-Taj to learn magic, my talent has been revealed and I have basically never looked down upon anyone. Even the Ancient One Mage treated him with courtesy when talking to him. He has never encountered this kind of situation where he directly finds loopholes in his words and criticizes him. Don't know how to deal with it either. Therefore, his brain shut down for a while. Only then did he remember what he wanted to say later. The mutation of this eagle is not important. What I want to say is that a talented mage must not only have theory, but also have practical experience. Only then can he be called a qualified mage. When he said this, he glanced at Hamel intentionally or unintentionally. Although he is a mage who prefers theoretical research, Hamel is also a serious mage. He immediately noticed Casas's vague gaze and understood the implication of his words. This Casas, never change your stubbornness. He was a little angry. This time I went to the dark space and captured a strange dark creature. Its strength is comparable to that of a junior mage. And its ability is quite special, which is very suitable for the postgraduate entrance examination of the combat response ability of a junior mage. Do you want to give it a try? Casas was so disappointed. He wanted to test Lin Nan's actual combat ability. If Lin Nan can pass, then he is bound to get this talent. Oh, Lin Nan's eyes lit up when he heard the dark space and dark creatures. As a student of Kamar-Taj, I will definitely go to the front line to fight these dark creatures in the future. Now that he has learned so much magic, he is worried that he has no place to practice it. The drills with Harder and Chinhu Shangyi are all classmates. The beating must be restrained, otherwise the person will be injured or even killed, and it will be difficult to end. Now that Casas is willing to provide this opportunity, it is naturally the best. Of course I want to give it a try. Are you going to the most advanced training ground? Lin Nan asked excitedly. No, right here, Casas said, unfolding a mirror space. It looks unremarkable, like a desolate planet. In the middle, a bald middle-aged man, probably in his 30s, with a ferocious face, was meditating. As if sensing the prying eyes from the mirror space, he suddenly raised his head and looked at everyone. Go in. Casas immediately launched the portal locally. A portal also appeared simultaneously in the mirror space. The bald man snorted, stood up, and began to move his hands and feet. It seems that Casas has experimented with him more than once. Lin Nan teleported directly through the portal without saying a word. Casas began. This is my mirror space. You don't have to worry about your safety. This bald man's name is Terry. He is a first-level mutant. When it breaks out, it is equivalent to a second-level mutant. His strength should be comparable to yours. His ability is shapeshifting. Generally speaking, transformations are like turning into a bear, becoming bigger, etc. This one is special. He transformed into a hellhound. It's a dark creature. This is also one of the most common dark creatures you will face when you go to fight in dark space in the future. But because he is a mutant, his flexibility is much stronger than ordinary dark creatures. The most important thing is that in addition to physical attacks, he also has a certain spatial ability. Be careful. At first, when they heard that the bald man was a first-level mutant, Wong and Hamel didn't take it seriously. Lin Nan has been promoted to a junior mage and is extremely talented. The magic at hand has basically been upgraded to level 3, level 4, or even level 6. It's more than enough to deal with level 2 mutants. But when they heard that this bald man's ability was to transform into a hellhound, they were all surprised. These are dark mutants. Ordinary mutants rarely develop this mutation. His appearance shows that the power of dark space has penetrated into the current universe. This is such a big deal, no wonder the Ancient One Mage can't get out of it. But if Casas is not helping on the front line now, why is he coming back to Kamar-Taj? Recuperate. Judging from the fact that he is intact, there shouldn't be any injuries. How strange. Mutant, hellhound, Lin Nan murmured in his heart. This Casas, why did he capture a dark mutant for nothing? Is it possible that he is about to rebel? But before he could think through the result, the bald man rushed forward. A powerful right hook. He is bound to win. Because Lin Nan is much thinner than him. As a mutant, or a dark mutant, Terry is very confident in his speed and strength. It's a pity that he met Lin Nan. After being promoted to junior mage, the system's cultivation speed doubled. Coupled with Casas's guidance just now, the training speed has also been slightly increased. Now, Lin Nan's magic fighting skills have reached level 5. The strength is close to the mid-level level 2 mutants. Casas originally thought that Lin Nan, as a newly promoted junior mage, was at most stronger than a first-level mutant. Terry, whom I specially selected, was at the second level after transformation, just one level higher than Lin Nan. As a trial object, it couldn't be more suitable. I saw Lin Nan swiping his hands, and the Bagua magic shield instantly rose. Terry's punch seemed to hit an iron plate, causing him unspeakable pain. Casas was shocked when he saw it. It turned out to be a level 6, almost level 7 magic shield. And the strange rune on it should be the gossip Hamel mentioned before. As a junior mage, Lin Nan brought so many surprises to him as an archmage. Just after being promoted, he was able to release such a powerful magic shield, plus he had instantly increased the chaos ball before and made improvements. His strength has reached the lower limit of an intermediate mage, and is even stronger than a weaker intermediate mage. Terry also felt that this magic shield was extremely powerful. If he didn't show his true ability, he was afraid that this time it would be bad. After putting away his fist, he transformed directly. A 3-meter-long hellhound with black smoke wrapped around its body, muscular muscles, and green eyes appeared. I saw it swooping down, its sharp fangs glowing coldly, biting into Lin Nan's throat with lightning speed. It seemed that because the speed was too fast, Lin Nan had no time to dodge. Terry was secretly delighted. It turned out to be an embroidered pillow too. So vulnerable. One bite and your teeth will break. The pain in the tooth nerve came, and Terry almost fainted. Broken. Just when he vaguely came up with this idea, he felt a heat in his abdomen, and then he lost consciousness in an instant. Wong, Hamel and Casas only saw Terry, who had transformed into a dark hound, biting Lin Nan at a speed exceeding normal speed. Lin Nan made no move to dodge. Wong and Hamel remember jumping to their feet, waving their arms, and turning to look at Casas. Casas shook his head and thought to himself, "Hey, another theoretical genius, but he is really worthless. What a shame." There was no movement on his hands. Before he could shake his head back, he saw a burst of bright light at the edge of his vision. Wang Zi had been paying attention to Lin Nan's situation. When Terry bit it, Lin Nan's throat flashed and a golden light appeared. If you guessed correctly, Lin Nan should have constructed a piece of powerful armor that could protect his throat. Terry's bite directly bit in this small piece of magic armor, causing his teeth to break out. Then Lin Nan stretched out his hand and rolled a small chaos ball. It exploded in Terry's abdomen. The strong light that Casas saw came from this. Afterwards, Terry vaporized under the light of the small chaos ball and disappeared. It's as if he didn't exist in the first place. Lin Nan stood there without moving, and a dark mutant whose strength was close to level 2 was wiped out. The whole process, from Lin Nan entering to Terry disappearing, took less than 10 seconds. Casas instantly felt that the so-called test of his preparation was like a joke. Who said Lin Nan had just been promoted to junior mage? Killing the second-level dark mutant instantly, even an ordinary mid-level mage might not be able to do it, right? Well done, this is your reward. There is a video explanation of my unique signature spell. If you have any questions, you can come to me at any time. Casas passed a piece of video information to Lin Nan, turned around and left. His plans were completely disrupted. This is a very rare situation. All because the subordinates were incompetent and got the wrong information. It has nothing to do with me. Casas was very upset. Originally, he prepared the dark mutant Terry, whose strength was just one level higher than Lin Nan's. After Terry defeated Lin Nan, he personally encouraged him and showed off his fighting strength and unique magic space blade. He convinced Lin Nan and accepted him as his disciple. As a result, Lin Nan killed Terry instantly as soon as he came up, causing all his plans to fail. How does this make him take it? A complete failure. He couldn't accept it, so he turned around and walked away. Before leaving, he gave Lin Nan the image data of his unique magic space blade. What a weirdo, Lin Nan complained in his heart. Wong and Hamel also heard that Casas had created a new magic weapon called the Space Blade. Generally, magic weapons are constructed by using magic energy to simulate metal or relatively high-quality substances, causing physical damage. At most, various magics such as ice, fire, electricity, poison, etc. can be attached to it. This space blade uses magic energy to distort space into the shape of a weapon. When attacking, it will directly cause a space-cutting effect on the enemy's body. There is almost no material armor that can resist space cutting. Therefore, the lethality is amazing. But it places high demands on users. One is the delicate manipulation of magical energy. Mirror space and portals are all very large space magics, and the requirements for details are not that high. The second is the control of space. After constructing the space blade, although it looks like a weapon, it is actually a space in the shape of a weapon. You have to use it to perform various martial arts moves. This requires you to have strong spatial control. Therefore, although Casas created this magic, he soon made it public in Kamar-Taj. But until today, I haven't heard of anyone mastering it, including the Ancient One Wizard and Doctor Strange. But now, Casas has actually prepared video teaching materials for the Space Blade for Lin Nan in advance. Did he come back specifically after hearing the news about Lin Nan, a genius? And you are so optimistic about Lin Nan. Otherwise, there is no way to explain that as a top mage who has been fighting in the dark space all year round, he returned to Kamar-Taj without any pain or other things. Wong and Hamel looked at each other, and then Hamel said to Lin Nan, "Lin Nan, don't look at Casas being so cold. He is probably here for you this time. Otherwise, the video teaching materials for Space Blade would not have been prepared in advance." Space Blade. Lin Nan was quite confused when he heard Casas say this magic. This is Casas's signature magic. What on earth does he want to do? Recruit me, but I am only a junior mage. He is a top-level mage who can compete with the Ancient One. Why should he show favor to a junior mage like him? Oh, by the way, in the original work, he entered Kamar-Taj in order to resurrect his wife and children. And the betrayal also comes from not being able to find direction in Kamar-Taj for many years. And Dormammu tempted him, saying that he could help him resurrect his wife and children. In the end, he ended up being integrated by Dormammu. In other words, he is now gathering various geniuses in Kamar-Taj to conduct theoretical research in order to find a way to resurrect. So, do you show kindness to yourself? But it is a pity that although I have a system and although I am a genius, I have not yet mastered the magic of resurrection. Moreover, the Tao is different and they do not conspire against each other. He didn't want to have any more entanglements with this traitor of Kamar-Taj. When the time comes, even if you jump into the Yellow River, you won't be able to escape. How about taking a look at the information on Spaceblade first? Wong saw that Lin Nan hadn't moved for a long time and suggested. Hamel is also looking forward to it. This was explained by Casas himself. Although it is just an image, it is much more vivid than reading a book. As a top theoretical mage, one of his greatest pleasures is to collect and learn all kinds of magic. Although he is not proficient in all magic, it is quite good to become a living magic book. It's a pity that the magic of Spaceblade is too difficult, and Casas has been fighting in the dark space all year round. Even if he returned to Kamar-Taj occasionally, he rarely gave lectures. Now, having the opportunity to see him explaining the information about Spaceblade in person, Hamel was extremely excited. Although Wong is not keen on magic theory, he likes fighting. As a top-level combat magic, the power of Spaceblade is beyond doubt. It's just that his talent is limited, and he can't do anything about magic that neither the Ancient One Mage nor Doctor Strange can learn. Therefore, Wong also wanted to see Casas explain the Spaceblade in person. However, Casas, as a radical, and he, a traditionalist, have never gotten along well. So it was difficult for him to speak. Now, Casas has given Lin Nan relevant video information. He has been Lin Nan's master for a few days, so it doesn't matter if he rubs it in by the way, right? Lin Nan came back to his senses after hearing this. Forget it, no matter what he does, just let nature take its course. Anyway, Kamar-Taj has the Ancient One Mage and Doctor Strange, so why worry about being a junior mage? Good. As he spoke, he moved his hands and used magic energy to project the image data given by Casas onto the sky screen. Wong and Hamel started class with peace of mind. But the more they listened, the more they frowned. The king is fine. He had already anticipated that he would not be able to understand. Anyway, my strength is not in theory. In addition to the high talent requirements for space magic, the threshold for theoretical level is also high. What's more, top-level space magic like Spaceblade. Hamel was greatly shocked. After all, he is also a master of magic theory. But what is Casas talking about? I know every word, but together I don't know what they mean. Is it possible that the master of magic theory and the genius of Kamar-Taj in the past few decades are all fake? Is the gap between Casas and myself so big? He thought of a saying that had been circulated among young mages. Sometimes, the gap between people is bigger than the gap between people and dogs. Unexpectedly, it would be cashed out on myself so quickly. Just when they were dejected, a slight sound broke through the air. What happened? A sound like a crack in space. Is it possible that dark space invades this universe? Where is it? Wong and Hamilton suddenly panicked and released probing magic everywhere to search. After working for a long time, I saw Lin Nan gesticulating with his bare hands. It seemed like the noise came from Lin Nan. No way. Wong felt a little confused. Lin Nan, what are you doing? Wong asked. Look quickly, there are space cracks around. Hamel observed carefully. Could it be that? Lin Nan, are you using the Spaceblade? Wong was shocked when he heard this. How is it possible? Spaceblade is such a difficult magic, we can't even learn it. This image data only lasts a few minutes. Can Lin Nan master it so quickly? As Wong was talking, he suddenly became suspicious when he saw Lin Nan's movements. It seems that the sound of space shattering is in perfect harmony with Lin Nan's movements. Is this real? Did I read that correctly? After Lin Nan stopped moving, the surrounding space seemed to be reflected by countless broken lenses, twisted, folded and shattered. Have you learned the Spaceblade? Hamel stretched out his hand tremblingly, pointed at Lin Nan and asked. Wang Zi opened his mouth wide and observed the space fragments. If I'm not mistaken, I should have learned it. Lin Nan touched his head and said sheepishly, "Two mentors, what should I do with these space debris? I don't know how to do it. Just use the mirror space to sort it out." Hamel murmured. The gap between humans is wider than the gap between humans and dogs. Don't deceive me sincerely, he muttered in his mind. You actually learned the space blade. Wang watched Lin Nan release the mirror space, sorted out all the space fragments, walked over, held his shoulders and said. Probably. Lin Nan stretched out his hand, pretended to be holding a dagger, and made a slash. That small piece of space was split, creating a refraction effect. Wang looked at Lin Nan's hand carefully and released magical energy to detect it. It's really a space blade. He turned to confirm with Hamel. Hamel also came over and probed. Wang, there is an old saying in your ancient China that heroes emerge from youth. It must be someone like Lin Nan. He sighed. Hey boy, good job. Wang gave Lin Nan a thumbs up and praised him sincerely. It's all well taught by the instructors. Lin Nan was modest. After all, this is Kamar-Taj. After all, I am a Chinese son and daughter, and I still have to pay attention to respecting teachers. The blade of space is Casas's magic. You have to thank him. We didn't do anything for you to learn this magic. Hamel waved his hand. That's all. In the past, Casas was ahead of him, but now Lin Nan's talent is clearly ahead of Casas. The new generation is better than the old generation. I am indeed old. Don't be competitive about this kind of thing in the future. Just do your job as a mentor with peace of mind. Hamel's sigh on the side seemed to have infected Wang. This is an advanced magic that even the ancient one mage has learned. This kid actually learned it so quickly. And I just looked at the video data of Casas. Not even answering questions. Is there any magic in this world that he can't learn? Wang thought to himself. Hamel was silent for a long time. Lin Nan saw that the two of them had not spoken for so long. He didn't know what was going on either. Is it because I haven't done a good enough job? Two mentors are thinking about how to guide themselves. After thinking about it for so long, I still haven't come to a conclusion. It seemed that he had let them down. I am sorry. Lin Nan felt very embarrassed. Two mentors, I will continue to work hard. Try to learn more magic faster. I swear, I will never let you down. These words of determination brought Wang and Hamel's thoughts back to reality. Keep it up. Learn more magic faster. This little brother, no, this brother Lin. It's only been a few days since you awakened your magic talent. How much magic have you learned? And many of the magics are still high-level magics. Even the ancient one mage has not learned this space blade after studying it for a long time. You looked at the video information and learned it without even asking a question. Now you have to work harder and learn more magic. Let no one live anymore. Hamel sighed. No words were spoken. Lin Nan felt a little uneasy when she saw it. This sigh must be dissatisfaction with myself. I wonder if Instructor Hamel will punish himself. Hamel was thinking. Lin Nan wants to learn more magic. Now even the space blade has been learned. What other magic would be difficult for him? Never mind. Wang and I can teach another advanced magic. What is good to teach? Among the magic that Lin Nan just learned, space blade belongs to space magic. I'm not very good at it. The Chaos Ball needs to borrow the power of two Mephistos, and Hades himself is not familiar with it. As for Weixin Emperor, I know quite a lot of magic related to Weixin Emperor. Then let's take Emperor Weixin's sacred sword. He decided. Hamel glanced at Wang and conveyed his thoughts to him. Wang agreed. Then Hamel said to Lin Nan, today I will teach you another sacred sword of Emperor Weixin. The king will teach you another magic later. Lin Nan was very happy after hearing this. Because Emperor Weixin's sacred sword is also a very powerful advanced magic. The sacred sword of Emperor Weixin is one of the most powerful attack magics that most of the great mages of Kamar-Taj can master. It comes from the ancient god, Agamotto. This god is also known as the Omniscient Eye. He's very powerful. I hope you can study hard and don't disgrace his reputation. Then, Hamel explained the magic principle and the arrangement of runes. Because of the careful teachings of Master Hamel, you have learned the sacred sword of Emperor Weixin. The system starts to practice automatically. The current progress is 1/9, 1%. Lin Nan wanted to show that he was working hard. Without waiting for instructor Hamel to demonstrate, he built it himself. A white magic sword full of cool and simple atmosphere appeared in front of his audience. Coupled with his outstanding temperament and his current level 5 magic fighting skills, he naturally has the temperament of a top swordsman. Hamel and Wong suddenly felt that they had arrived at an ancient battlefield. Lin Nan stood in front of him with his sword drawn, seemingly killing tens of thousands of enemies and looking down at everything. When he came back to his senses, he was shocked to realize that Lin Nan had completely mastered the essence of Emperor Weishen's sacred sword. The reason why Hamel chose this magic was actually because of his own little thought. Because mastering this magic not only requires the power of Emperor Weishen, but more importantly, it also places very high requirements on the user's sword skills. Otherwise, the constructed sacred sword of Emperor Weishen will be empty. It looks like a sword, but it's actually similar to a fire stick. Only swordsmen who have experienced hundreds of battles and understand the true meaning of the sword can fully present the true sacred sword of Emperor Weishen. In other words, although Hamel can release the sacred sword of Emperor Weishen, it is only a fake. After all, he is just a top theoretical mage. I have actual combat experience, but compared with the likes of Wong and Casas, it's almost like no experience. Now this Lin Nan is obviously a junior mage. He had never experienced any battles, so how could he release the sacred sword of Emperor Weishen so full of murderous intent? Compared with what Wong and Casas released, it is not inferior. And look at the posture and confidence in holding the sword, which can only be found in the top swordsman. How did he, a young man under 20, do it? Hamel was puzzled. So does the king. But in the past few days, Lin Nan had given him as much shock as he had in the first half of his life combined. He was a little numb. I thought that Lin Nan could at most just release a passing level of the holy sword of Emperor Weishen. Because he had to learn magic for several years before, and he didn't even learn the space blade, but Lin Nan learned it in less than one class. Now that Hamel has finished explaining, Lin Nan is released directly, and Wong must not be surprised. However, the sacred sword of Emperor Weishen, in addition to magic talent, also has extremely high requirements for combat talent, swordsmanship talent and swordsmanship understanding. It is basically impossible to release the perfect sacred sword of Emperor Weishen without decades of actual combat experience and sword fighting experience. And Lin Nan, after Hamel finished speaking, directly released the perfect version of the sacred sword of Emperor Weishen. How could this not shock him? Has Lin Nan been practicing swordsmanship since she was born? That fierce sword energy that is like no other to me is almost real. Lin Nan stood there holding the sword, as if he were a top-notch swordsman who had experienced hundreds of battles, with murderous aura and a sense of threat, all of which were missing. How on earth did he do it? Lin Nan, before entering Kamar-Taj, have you ever learned a sword or participated in a battle? Wong asked, and this is what Hamel wants to know. They all stared at Lin Nan, eager to know the answer. Lin Nan looked at them and felt a little nervous for a moment. However, he quickly calmed down and replied, no. But I have practiced some ancient Chinese martial arts, and I can basically use the 18 traditional weapons. After hearing this, the king continued to ask, then who is your weapons master? He knows all 18 kinds of weapons, he must be a master of swordsmanship, right? Hamel thought so too, otherwise it wouldn't be enough to explain why Lin Nan was so good at swordsmanship. His master must be a famous kendo master. Oh, no, I just searched it on the video website and practiced with them. I didn't have any special apprenticeship. Lin Nan answered honestly. Indeed, before time travel, there were still quite a lot of fans of the ancient Chinese martial arts. There are various instructional videos for weapons, fists and kicks on the internet. He also learned a lot from it. This is true. However, the cold weapon strength he is showing now should be attributed more to the ancient martial arts given by the system and the magic fighting skills after integrating Kamar-Taj fighting. Wong and Hamel heard this and heaved a sigh of relief. Is this genius? Not only magic, but also cold weapon combat as a genius. Although Kamar-Taj is a mage base, it has always attached great importance to boxing and kicking skills. He is a famous melee mage. The unique training system in the world makes every mage who comes out here be called a Gandalf-like existence. Even if your magic talent is not enough, Kamar-Taj can train you into a warrior proficient in melee combat. Therefore, people who are proficient in fighting and cold weapons here will also be important and will also be admired by others. An important reason why Hamel became a theoretical research mage is that he is not good at fighting. In the various competitions of Kamar-Taj, he suffered repeated setbacks. This made him concentrate on theoretical research and rarely went out to fight. Looking at Lin Nan's clear eyes, Wang and Hamel confirmed that he was not lying. After a long silence, Lin Nan felt something was wrong and said, "I have learned the sacred sword of Emperor Weishan, right? If the two instructors think there are any shortcomings, please correct them. I will definitely change it and let it go. More perfect." Hamel took a breath and calmed down. With the sacred sword of Emperor Weishan, as a beginner, your current performance is very satisfactory. However, young man, don't be complacent. Just practice more when you go back. As for the disadvantages, white doesn't look good. You can try another color. What is the disadvantage? After hearing this, the king cursed in his heart. You are just looking for trouble. Lin Nan's sacred sword of Emperor Weishan is much more perfect than what you can release yourself. Teacher Hamel, what do you think of this? Lin Nan heard this and humbly accepted Hamel's teachings. The sacred sword of Emperor Weishan in his hand changes colors like a rainbow, like a revolving lantern. The master's temperament before immediately turned into a killer one. This, Hamel and Wang couldn't think of any words for a while. Hamel's original intention was that the white sword was too ordinary, because mortal weapons were basically like this. He thinks Lin Nan can change it to yellow and gold, and add a little halo or something, which will make it more stylish. As a result, Lin Nan came up with a rainbow revolving lantern. I don't know where this situation has fallen. However, when facing the enemy, if you release it, you may be able to surprise the enemy and give yourself a second or two of advantage. Well, that's certainly the case. Otherwise, with the temperament of a peerless master that Lin Nan had shown before, he probably wouldn't have chosen this ridiculous rainbow revolving lantern. Hamel thought to himself, okay, Lin Nan, you can stop showing off. If this continues, my presbyopia and I will go blind. He quickly spoke up to stop Lin Nan. Everything is at your command. Lin Nan was very happy. Because Hamel's face was full of smiles, much better than the miserable expression he had when he was deep in thought. It must have been this rainbow-colored sacred sword of Emperor Weishan that impressed him. What a genius I am. He couldn't help but think proudly. Next, let me teach you Satorak's scarlet necklace. The king thought to himself that the previous Chaos Ball, Energy Whip, and Weishan Emperor's sacred sword were all offensive magic, and the protective magic included the Bagua magic shield and the ring of Ragador, which should be about the same. Lin Nan should learn some more control magic. Satorak's scarlet necklace is good. This magic is one of Doctor Strange's signature magics. Wang also asked him for advice many times. He believed that this magic should be a very stylish, yet powerful and practical magic. His reputation will not be ruined. Moreover, Lin Nan learned Chaos Ball before, which used the power of two Mephistos at the same time. Now this scarlet necklace of Satoric only needs the power of Emperor Weishan. Lin Nan will definitely learn it quickly. Satoric's scarlet necklace also borrows the power from Emperor Weishan. In fact, most of the white magic in the world comes from Emperor Weishan. It shouldn't be difficult for you to learn. However, this magic, the arrangement of runes is so complicated, you have to be more careful. When I was learning this magic, I spent a lot of time memorizing it. I really miss my youth. Wang actually began to express his emotions. This is unprecedented. Hamel was keenly aware of Wang's difference. He became nostalgic. Is it because Lin Nan, a young man, stimulated him? Have you finally started to get used to old age? Tisk, tisk, king, you can't do this. I'm older than you. If you serve your old age, won't I be in a coffin? Cheer me up quickly. Let me add that the real test of the Magic Knight lies in his mental strength. Because of the special nature of the chain, it is very flexible. You need to be very careful and use your own mental power to control it. And it's the kind of control that's subtle to the extreme. If you can't do it, the chain will probably bite you back. Therefore, your mind control ability must be very strong. Before that, you must not try it easily. Do you understand? Hamel's interruption made Wang a little depressed. But immediately, he reacted. My explanation just now seemed to be a little off track. Hamel's explanation of mental power was not only to explain the key points of Sator's scarlet necklace to Lin Nan, but also to remind himself to concentrate. He gave Hamel a look of thanks. Lin Nan looked confused. Originally, Wong was right, but Hamel suddenly came in and intervened. Wong, who was interrupted, looked depressed at first, and then flirted with Hamel again. Is it possible that the two of them are calcium? No way. American comics are not corrupt comics. We don't like this. Lin Nan tried his best to drive this thought out of his mind and concentrate on recalling the rune arrangement of Sator's scarlet necklace. Then, it was released naturally. Wong was still explaining other key points when he saw Lin Nan in front of him suddenly summoning several octopus-like tentacles. What is this? Sator's scarlet necklace. Why is it so soft? Wong looked at Lin Nan. Good boy, you make mistakes sometimes too. Finally I got caught. Wong felt ecstatic for a moment. Hamel was also stunned when he saw the octopus tentacle-like thing constructed by Lin Nan. He also didn't realize that this was Sator's scarlet necklace constructed by Lin Nan. Is this the scarlet necklace of Sator that you constructed? He asked doubtfully. Yeah, what's the problem? Lin Nan asked in confusion. After hearing this, Hamel and Wong each waved their hands and constructed their own scarlet chains. Hamilton is golden, has a strong metallic texture, and makes a metallic sound when waved. The King's scarlet chain is really a scarlet chain. Compared to Hamel, it seems to have blood attached to it. It seems that this is the difference in fighting. The biggest difference between their chains and Lin Nan's was that they were tough and had a metallic texture. Lin Nan's soft and fleshy ones are more like octopus tentacles. Although they feel threatening, they are more like evil creations. See the difference? Hamel also realized Lin Nan's rare mistake. It's obviously a chain, so it must be constructed with a metallic feel. What does Lin Nan mean by this? This kid had shocked himself so many times before, but now he finally made a mistake. Why don't you show off your mentor's airs and give him a good beating? Otherwise, where would you put the dignity of yourself and Wong, the mentor? Lin Nan saw Wong and Hamel's chains and immediately realized it. So with a thought, his scarlet chain immediately became full of metallic texture, but it was just a mixture of gold and red. Is that so? He asked. Hey, you kid, you can obviously construct scarlet chains with a metallic texture, but why are they soft and fleshy at the beginning? Are you kidding us? What do you mean by the tentacle-like scarlet chains you built before? Wong asked. Oh, I think I have enough attack protection magic at the moment, so I'm wondering if this scarlet chain can be transformed into a control magic. Lin Nan explained. But, the scarlet chain is originally a control magic. You can use it to directly lock the enemy, isn't that okay? Hamel asked confused. In his theoretical reserves, the scarlet chain is one of the top control magics. Lin Nan actually disliked his lack of control. Is this something a person can say? Once a big chain is tied up, how many people can escape smoothly? Although he is a theoretical mage, he almost never fails to trap people with scarlet chains. The same goes for Wong. He has tested the control effect of the scarlet chain countless times on the battlefield. Even the Ancient One Mage and Doctor Strange use the scarlet chain as their main control magic. Is this guy Lin Nan too arrogant? If the hardness of the scarlet chain is too high, it will be easy to break free when there is a strength gap between the two parties. Lin Nan explained. You should know about the boa constrictor, right? My idea is to change the scarlet chain into a chain that is very elastic. No matter how powerful the enemy is, it will still be tough enough to drag the enemy away for a longer time. After hearing this, Wong and Hamel felt that it made sense. Moreover, after this improvement, the toughness of the chain will increase, and the mental requirements for the user will also be reduced. After all, if the chain is made of metal, then the user needs to control its deformation. It turns into a soft and tough texture similar to the tentacles of a python, and can adapt to the opponent's strength and size. It is indeed a very good improvement idea. This Lin Nan actually made improvements the first time he released magic. They thought there was a mistake in Lin Nan's construction. What a huge mistake. Wong and Hamel, through today's teaching, were completely impressed by Lin Nan, a junior mage. The Ring of Ragador, Chaos Ball, Space Blade, Sator's Scarlet Necklace. He learned 4 magics in one day, and all of them were advanced and top-notch magics. Even improved 3 of them. Oh my god, Emperor Weishan. Could it be that Lin Nan is the son of Emperor Weishan? No, even the biological son of Emperor Weishan might not be able to improve these magics when he first learned them, right? Surely not. Wang and Hamel were both a little numb. It was getting late now, and they also ended Lin Nan's teaching and asked him to go back to the dormitory. Because these high-level magics actually only need to be explained once in a group, and most of the other time is spent practicing. If you have any questions, go to the instructor to clarify them. This is the norm for Kamar-Taj's junior and intermediate mage students. Lin Nan has studied for so many years at once, which is almost equivalent to several years of learning for a junior mage. But for now, the instructor will not teach him new magic. Unless special circumstances arise. He also enjoys his leisure time, practicing alone in his dormitory and training ground. The bad thing is that in the training ground, I am always stared at by other students, which makes me feel a little nervous. Because his magic is so dazzling. Most junior mages, even intermediate mages and archmages have never seen it. For example, the famous Space Blade. After being asked, you can get a lot of looks of desire, admiration and even wanting to have an intimate relationship with them. It made him a little creepy. I am just a junior mage, is it necessary? Women will only affect the speed of learning and practicing magic, so you must not touch them. As for those dead calcium, they will die as far away as possible. Then, there are those who want to ask for teaching. I'm sorry, I'm just a student and I can't teach you. If you want to learn, go out and turn left to find Teacher Lanchi, turn right to find Master Hamel, go straight to find the king. If you are confident, please fly to the sky to find Archmage Casas. He is the top mage of Kamar-Taj, a super genius, the absolute main force in the battle against the dark space, a superhero, and he is definitely much more powerful than me. Please don't bother me, thank you. I'm just a ruthless magic training machine. In the end, Lin Nan had no choice but to practice in the dormitory. To avoid harassment from crazy fans. As for food and other matters, I would like to ask my roommate Qinhu Shangyi. He is a top ninja. Bringing food, sneaking, etc. are all at your fingertips. Moreover, this also provides him with an excellent opportunity to review and practice ninjutsu. How can I find another roommate like me who is such a great person? Because there were too many reminders, he blocked almost all system reminders. I was so involved in practicing that I forgot about the existence of the system. More than a month later, Lin Nan, who was almost isolated from the world, finally remembered his system panel. He checked and found that basic magic, including fighting skills, was basically at level 6. Advanced magic is indeed advanced magic, but the practice is slower. Most are level 2 or 3. However, with the blessing of magic talent, it can be upgraded by 2 levels when released, which is definitely enough. Just when Lin Nan was looking complacent at the system panel, Qinhu Shangyi rushed in. Something big happened. He had an expression on his face that he didn't know whether to say he was excited or something else. Something big happened. Why are you so happy? Lin Nan asked doubtfully. Oh, Qinhu Shangyi calmed down his expression. What? I'm not happy, but. He hesitated and couldn't think of words to express. But what? Lin Nan continued to ask. Casas is back, so the next plot is easy to guess. That means he has rebelled. It's just that as a ninja, roommate Cheeto Kuichi's emotional management should be at an elite level. Why are you so excited after hearing the news about Casas? The librarian was killed and hung at the door. It is said that the murderer was Casas. Casas, the top genius. When Qinhu Shang remembered that he came in to tell Lin Nan this big thing, his expression didn't matter. So what? Lin Nan asked rhetorically. Aren't you shocked when you heard this? That's Casas. Qinhu Shangyi said sarcastically. I'm just a junior mage, what does this kind of thing have to do with me? It's up to Wang and Dr. Strange to take care of it. Lin Nan spread his hands. Aren't you curious what Casas' purpose is in doing this? Qinhu Shangyi also asked. As far as I know, Casas came to Kamar-Taj because he wanted to resurrect his wife and children. There is forbidden magic hidden in the library. Maybe he wanted to check it out, but was stopped by the librarian. In a fit of anger, he killed the librarian to vent his anger. Lin Nan pretended to be a detective and said seriously. Hey, Lin Nan, you guessed it right. Wang's voice suddenly sounded. Hello, Master Wang. Seeing Wang come in, Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyi greeted him at the same time. Well, hello, I'm here to investigate about Casas. Since you already know, I won't say more. You can tell me anything about Casas. The king made his purpose clear. I only saw him the day he came. That was the day he taught me the space blade. For the next month, I basically hid in my dormitory to practice and never saw him again. Lin Nan replied. This was the first time Qinhu Shangyi heard that Lin Nan had learned the space blade from Casas. He looked at Lin Nan in disbelief. Good guy, you actually hide it so deeply. Then he also answered the king. This month, he only met Casas when he was in the library, and the other party asked him if he was willing to become his disciple. Chito Kumaichi has a firm ideal of ninja magic. After Casas expressed regret, he never looked for him again. After Wang used lie detector magic, he determined that both of them were telling the truth. After giving a few instructions, he left. The blade of space. After Qinhu Shangyi left, he surrounded Lin Nan and muttered. So what? Lin Nan frowned. Casas's signature magic. Can you teach me? Qinhu Shangyi looked flattering. Casas just rebelled. Aren't you afraid of what others will say about you? Lin Nan asked with a smile. TCH, the portal is still used by both good and evil. Did anyone say anything? Qinhu Shangyi said with disdain. That's true, but the space blade is very difficult. I don't guarantee that you can learn it. Lin Nan said, get vaccinated in advance. I know, even the Ancient One Mage and Doctor Strange have not learned this magic. I only heard about it. However, with such a powerful magic, it would be a bit frustrating if you don't learn it. Qinhu Shangyi returned. Okay, I'll teach you. But, how are you going to repay me? Lin Nan seized the opportunity and joked. Wow, great genius Lin, since when did he become so powerful? Otherwise, according to the routine of traditional Chinese novels, can I agree to it with my body? Qinhu Shangyi pretended to be cute and leaned over. Go away, come here again, I won't teach you any more. Lin Nan pretended to be disgusted and pushed him away. At 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, Lin Nan got up to pee and saw Qinhu Shangyi not sleeping, frowning and thinking about something. It's so late and you're still not sleeping. How about continuing the research tomorrow? Low energy and poor learning results. He yawned and persuaded Qinhu Shangyi to join him. Well, it's just a little bit close. Qinhu Shangyi has no intention of giving up. Then you go on, I'll pee and go to bed. Okay, all right. Lin Nan turned around and entered the toilet. While he was draining the water, he suddenly felt a cold light coming on him. Wake up immediately and stop. There was a flash of golden light, and the magic armor was equipped. There was a bang. Something seemed to be cut apart. He was so frightened that he quickly checked himself. Phew, fortunately, I have a lot of spare parts. Then, the wall in front of him collapsed, and a straight crack appeared, as if it had been struck with a knife or sword. Opposite him, Qinhu Shangyi looked excited and held a knife in his hand. Have you learned the space blade? Lin Nan asked. Qinhu Shangyi nodded slowly. Holy shit, you almost split me in half. You pig head, see how I deal with you. Lin Nan jumped up and rushed towards Qinhu Shangyi in a pretentious manner. I didn't mean it, please let me go. Qinhu Shangyi yelled and left. But after a while, the king rushed over. What happened? Because of Casas incident, Kamar-Taj strengthened security measures. Wang is responsible for the night watch. Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyi stopped thinking and told Wang the facts one by one. Have you learned the space blade? Wang couldn't believe it. After all, this magic was created by Casas with some ideas. A large number of top mages, including the Ancient One Mage and Doctor Strange, have not learned it. As a result, within a month, 2 junior mages actually learned it. And it's in a dormitory. This is a proverb circulated in ancient China: birds of a feather flock together, and people flock together. He suddenly felt jealous. Is it still too late to be roommates with Lin Nan now? Of course, this is just a joke. After careful questioning, he confirmed that Qinhu Shangyi had just learned the space blade. He didn't have complete control like Lin Nan, which led to him releasing it and directly cutting off the wall of the dormitory, almost accidentally injuring Lin Nan. It shows that there is still some gap between him and Lin Nan. However, Qinhu Shangyi can learn it, and his talent is very impressive. Wang comforted the two of them, and then prepared to let them go to other empty dormitories to rest. Here, he will arrange for someone to repair it tomorrow. Other students and tutors also came over to watch the excitement. They were all sent back by the king. When asked why, Wang said that the two of them were practicing mirror space, and a space crack appeared, splitting the wall of the dormitory. Anyway, they are all space magic, and most people can't tell the difference. After everyone got Wang's explanation, they no longer doubted anything else. If you tell them directly that it is a space blade. With Cassius's current reputation as a traitor, I'm sure some strange rumors will spread. That is not conducive to the stability of Kamar-Taj. Therefore, it is better to do less than to do more. The king did not reveal the real reason. Qinhu Shangyi was also very grateful. After Wang arranged the new residences for Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyixin, he went back. Arriving at the new dormitory, Qinhu Shangyi and Lin Nan shared beds. Lin Nan, I have something to tell you. Qinhu Shang tossed and turned and did not fall asleep, and finally said. What happened? Lin Nan thought, what's going on with this guy? Why is there so much going on tonight? I asked you to learn the space blade, which actually has something to do with Cassius. Qinhu Shangyi hesitated for so long and finally made up his mind to speak out. It could be seen that he felt a little relieved. Ah, how did you get involved with him? Lin Nan was a little surprised. He found me privately before going to the library. Thought I was very talented and wanted me to join him. I asked him what he wanted to do. He replied that he wanted to study the magic of resurrecting his wife and children, but he and his current team are not powerful enough. We need more talent to come on board. Chito Kumaichi recalled. So, you joined? Lin Nan asked hesitantly. If Cassius is added, it will be a bit difficult. After all, he knew what would happen to Cassius. How can it be? Qinhu Shangyi denied it. I am determined to become the strongest magical ninja. Cassius and I have different philosophies. However, I have some ideas about his space blade. This should greatly enhance the offensiveness and concealment of my kunai. I made a request and he refused. But tell me that he gave you the image data of the space blade. And you learned it again, Sai. Only then did Lin Nan realize that there was such a thing. You were right to reject him. He affirmed. Why do you say that? He gave you information about the space blade, but you don't think highly of him. Qinhu Shangyi asked. He has betrayed Kamar-Taj, what do you think? Lin Nan didn't want to explain more to Qinhu Shangyi. After all, dark space and Dormammu were not easy to mess with. Okay, after that, I talked to him about some dark magic. Qinhu Shangyi said. How does this relate? Lin Nan said in surprise. Because I accidentally used ninja invisibility once and entered the forbidden library of Kamar-Taj magic library. I saw some dark magic inside, and there seems to be a resurrection ritual or something. And those books have signs of being turned. Qinhu Shangyi broke a big deal. Broken. Right now, Cassius actually went to the library to read the forbidden magical books related to dark space because of Qinhu Shangyi's revelation. Then he had a conflict with the librarian and rebelled. How sad. Your revelation is too shocking. Lin Nan sighed. Then, today, news of Cassius's rebellion came. I was panicked, afraid that he would come to trouble me. So, when I read the information about the space blade, I felt very anxious. I didn't care how much I had mastered, I just released it. I'm so sorry. Chito Kumaichi stood up and gave Lin Nan a standard Japanese bow. Lin Nan felt a little embarrassed when he did this to him. Fine, if he comes to trouble you, I'll still be here. He said carelessly. Can you handle Cassius? Qinhu Shangyi knew that Lin Nan was very strong, but it seemed that he had just broken through to become a junior mage, right? Cassius is a top mage who has been famous for a long time and has been fighting in the dark space for many years. He has rich practical experience, and his reputation has been earned through hard work. The reason why Lin Nan said this was because he noticed something abnormal around him. Cassius is just a name in vain, I can knock him down with one hand. Lin Nan's expression was very arrogant. Lin Nan, is what you said true? Qinhu Shangyi looked at Lin Nan in disbelief. What happened? Lin Nan's current temperament seems to have the feeling of looking down on the world. Although he occasionally makes high-profile remarks, he usually just jokes. Did you feel stimulated in any way today? It seems like there isn't either. Wasn't it because he made a mistake just now and created an uncontrollable space blade that attracted the king's attention? Why do you suddenly look like you're going to the battlefield? Next, a gloomy voice told him exactly why. Oh, are all the new generations so arrogant now? The portal appeared in the dormitory room, and an awe-inspiring figure appeared. There was an uncomfortable aura all over his body. Casas, the rebellious Casas, showed up in their temporary dormitory. How to do this? Qinhu Shangyi was a little panicked for a moment. Were Lin Nan's words just now meant to anger Casas and make him show up? Because Cheeto Kumaichi is in a panic, the fighting qualities of top ninjas are still there. Detection magic and communication magic were released immediately. Then he desperately discovered that he and Lin Nan were already in Casas' unique mirror space. Unless he, Casas, personally releases the portal to let them out. Otherwise, with their strength, it would be a fantasy to go out on their own. Because the mirror space is magic based on the releaser's understanding of multi-dimensional space. Unless you have a better understanding of multi-dimensional space than the other party, and know where the weak points of the mirror space released by the other party are. Only in this way can you release the portal in the other party's mirror space. But the time it takes to release the portal, with Casas' superb combat ability, can kill you thousands of times. This is terrible. You won't end up like the librarian, right? Qinhu Shangyi was very scared at this time. Is it too late to join Casas? He couldn't help but have some annoying thoughts. Or surrender directly, maybe Casas can accept it. Qinhu Shangyi looked at Lin Nan and wanted to ask for his opinion. And Lin Nan didn't look panicked at all. Master Casas, if you still have a conscience, please surrender. Qinhu Shangyi, who clearly heard the content of Lin Nan's words, opened his mouth in surprise. When Casas didn't show up, Lin Nan said he could handle Casas. Qinhu Shangyi felt that he was just bragging and talking. Now, Lin Nan faced Casas and said such words, how could he not be shocked? Is this really what the junior mage said to the top archmage? He couldn't understand it, but he was shocked. Where did Lin Nan's confidence come from? Surrender. Ridiculous. I have been fighting the top creatures in the dark space for so many years and I have never surrendered. How can you, a junior mage, have the courage to say this to me? Casas said in a low voice. Qinhu Shangyi's impression is that Casas is a man who cherishes his words as much as gold, which seems a bit strange today. But he couldn't tell why. Oh, Master Casas, you have been fighting dark creatures for so many years, and now you are under Dormammu's command, haven't you? Isn't this a kind of surrender? Lin Nan said with mockery. How did you know that I had taken refuge with Dormammu? Casas's voice, which had always been deep, suddenly rose in pitch. This shows that Lin Nan was indeed right. Cheeto Kumaichi previously revealed that the forbidden book of dark magic is in the library. The moment he heard Lin Nan's words, he reacted immediately. Does this need to be said? Lin Nan said disdainfully. Casas seems to have only now noticed Qinhu Shangyi. Oh, it seems that this Qinhu Shangyi has a close relationship with you and told you all the conversations we had. He suddenly realized. Lin Nan felt something was wrong after hearing this. No, it's not what you think. He corrected. Casas has been fighting on the field all year round and does not know what Lin Nan specifically wants to correct. What does Qinhu Shangyi mean by getting Lin Nan? How long has it been now to still care about this? Casas has rebelled against Kamar-Taj and defected to Dormammu. Lin Nan said this yourself, and Casas had no intention of denying it. Now we are sworn enemies. The kind of life and death kind. Lin Nan, you actually worry about what the other person is saying. Do you want to die? Qinhu Shangyi wiped away the non-existent cold sweat, thinking about how to reduce his sense of existence and find opportunities to escape. Although this doesn't seem very authentic. But didn't Lin Nan say that he could handle Casas by himself? It's better not to hold him back, just be an invisible cheerleader. Lin Nan has his own plans. Casas came back this time, reportedly to recuperate from injury. But no one saw any harm done to him. So I thought he was just looking for an excuse to come back. Lin Nan saw him demonstrate magic on the first day she met him. In the past half-month, Lin Nan had seen Lan Qi, Hamel, and Wang demonstrate magic. With his amazing magical talent, he is able to perceive the fluctuations in the magic released by everyone. The magic energy of Lanchi, Hamel, and Wang increased in sequence, and it was very stable. Casas' energy exceeds them, but the stability is very poor. This shows that something is indeed wrong with him. The control of magical energy is not so arbitrary. That day, Casas left suddenly. Everyone thought he was just showing sudden emotion. Lin Nan, however, clearly perceived that Casas' magical energy had reached a low point. Casas may have suffered some hidden injury. This led him to return to Kamar-Taj in search of answers. Even if Chido Kumaichi doesn't tell him about the forbidden book of dark magic, he will probably explore it on his own. And encountered a conflict with the librarian. In other words, his rebellion is inevitable. The gears of fate are not shifted by human will. Occasional deviations will eventually return to the intended route. As soon as Qin Hushang released the spatial blade, Lin Nan noticed something was wrong. Because of Qin Hushang's magic fluctuations, as a roommate, he can be said to know everything about it. Moreover, Qin Hushang has not shown any talent related to space magic before. The space blade, which neither the Ancient One Mage nor Doctor Strange could learn, was absolutely impossible for him. Even a failed release is a luxury. But after reading the information for less than half an hour, he actually released it. Although it is not qualified, its power far exceeds expectations. It broke a wall directly. This is not something that Qin Hushang's talent and potential can do. So, Lin Nan carefully investigated the magic fluctuations at the scene. As expected, there was an aura of dark power. Although there were very few, it could not be hidden from Lin Nan's keen sense of magic. He didn't want to alert others. If he had named him directly at that time, he might have had to face Casas directly. He wanted to be patient a little longer. Contrary to expectations, Casas followed after moving to a temporary dormitory. And quietly, the mirror space was arranged here in advance. Lin Nan was also very depressed. I originally wanted to avoid a direct conflict with him. I just regret it now, I should have exposed him then. Let him fight with the king, and he and Qin Hushang can watch the show from the sidelines. Now he has sealed it here with a mirror space, trying to catch a turtle in a urn. It's really asking for trouble. With Casas' strength, even the Ancient One Mage and Doctor Strange may not be able to open a portal in his mirror space. Not to mention the likes of Mordu, Wang, Hamel, and Lanchi who were left behind by Kamar-Taj. They could only stare. You can only rely on yourself. So, when he talked to Chido Kumaichi, he tried his best to belittle Casas, just to stimulate him to show up. Otherwise, a top mage who is proficient in combat can act as an assassin in his mirror space and sneak attack two junior mages. It is basically a matter of success. It can be said that it is simpler than killing a chicken. Fortunately, my words of encouragement worked. Casas also didn't think that he, a majestic archmage, would fail against two junior mages. Therefore, I came out openly. Lin Nan achieved his first goal and felt relieved. The reason why he had the confidence to face Casas head-on was because he knew he was injured. Another important reason is that Casas has just accepted Dormammu, and is not very proficient in dark magic power and magic. It is in the integrate period. This is an excellent opportunity for Lin Nan, who is familiar with the yin and yang system. Not what I thought. Casas smiled rarely, and his sinister face looked even more strange. He paused and said, "Don't explain any more. I don't want to hear your nonsense. In a word, do you want to join me? Join the Great Dormammu, the Legion of Darkness. Casas, I advise you to turn back as soon as possible." Lin Nan thought about it and decided to give some advice first. If it can be solved with words, why take action? There is an old Chinese saying that a gentleman talks but never uses his hands, right? Look back, Casas snorted. Even the Ancient One Mage has used the power of dark space, why should I look back? Chido Kumamoto wanted to be a little transparent, but hearing Casas' words shattered his outlook. What did I hear? Ancient One Mage, dark space. Isn't the Supreme Mage always on the front line against the dark space? How so? Casas, were you under the illusion of Domo? Lin Nan, please explain quickly. He looked at Lin Nan very anxiously. Lin Nan did not do what he wished. the Ancient One Mage only used the power of darkness, and his mind was not occupied by Dormammu. You have to figure out the difference. Ha 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 ha. Casas changed his usual calm image and actually laughed loudly. Coupled with his sinister face, he gave off the feeling of a treacherous hero. Why do you think that the Ancient One Mage is just taking advantage of me, and I will definitely be invaded by Dormammu? Do you think I am not as good as the Ancient One Mage? Casas said viciously. That bald woman tricked me into coming to Kamar-Taj, saying that I could find a way to resurrect my wife and children here. The results of it. After so many years, I have been on the front line against the dark space, but she has secretly learned dark magic. But you didn't tell me anything. That librarian dared to stop me. Fortunately, I discovered the secret of the bald woman in that pile of forbidden books. How dare this despicable man deceive me? I'm going to make her and the entire Kamar-Taj pay the price. Casas looked crazy and obviously no longer danced normally. Lin Nan had a very headache. This is not the result he wants. Qinhu Shangyi forgot his fear for a moment. What did he hear? Lin Nan and Casas are both convinced that the Ancient One Mage, the spiritual pillar of Kamar-Taj and the absolute opponent of the dark space, has actually learned dark magic and used dark power. What's going on with this world? His weak mind suffered a subversive blow. In that case, let me show you the real chapter. Lin Nan shouted loudly, golden light flashed all over his body, and he put on a set of magic armor. His magic armor is now at level 6, and his release level is at level 8. Coupled with the blessing of Bagua runes, it is comparable to level 9 magic and is already at the level of an archmage. Coupled with his outstanding magical talent, he can basically match the level of the top mage. Casas saw Lin Nan rushing towards him like a cannonball and felt the magic energy fluctuations on his body. This is the power of a junior mage. Can't believe it. Casas now thinks that Lin Nan restrained himself in class that day and hid his true strength. If Lin Nan had given full play at that time, he would definitely not have let him go. Be sure to rub it hard and take it off directly. No matter how much you pay, it is worth it. But now, it's too late. Moreover, his judgment was also wrong. Lin Nan at that time was indeed much weaker than he is now. This month, Lin Nan's automatic cultivation system has not been disturbed by negative information. After practicing, the speed is very fast. Most of the magic has been upgraded to level 6 or almost 7. As long as he is promoted to an intermediate mage, he may be promoted to level 9 immediately. After practicing high-level magic, it has also been upgraded to about level 3. With the blessing of magic talent, the release level is as high as level 5. Casas accidentally let Lin Nan get closer. But he was also a top mage after all. With a wave of his hands, the Ring of Ragador appeared, directly blocking Lin Nan's close combat with level 8 fireball. He casually exchanged punches and kicks with Lin Nan, and after a few moves, he originally thought that after many years of fighting, there should be few people who could be better than him in close combat. Lin Nan surprised him again and again. He couldn't find Lin Nan's flaw. Even the speed of his moves was restrained by the opponent. This puts him at a disadvantage in close combat. What BT genius is this? Even if he has outstanding magic talent, he is also so strong in combat. Fortunately, this is Casas' own mirror space. After he realized that he had no advantage in close combat, he made a phase change and distanced himself from Lin Nan. Casas stopped in midair, accumulating energy, and a black vortex formed behind him. You are very good. He returned to his usual indifferent tone and praised. Just run away if you can't beat him. Is this the strength of a top mage? Lin Nan fought really well, punching hard to the flesh. I didn't expect that the great mage himself could be beaten as a punching bag. This phase change of Casas made his punch miss and made him feel very uncomfortable. So he said sarcastically. After Casas entered the battle, he calmed down. He was not affected by Lin Nan's words. I admit that you are very talented in fighting. But the mage's battle and combat are just the appetizer. Magic is the key to victory or defeat. You suffer death. The dark vortex behind him finally took shape and gathered together. The purity of that black color makes one's heart palpitate. This is pure dark power. Even Qinhu Shangyi saw it. As expected, Casas betrayed Kamar-Taj and took refuge with Dormammu. Qinhu Shangyi sighed. That ball seems to be one of Casas' signature magic tricks, the chaos ball. But doesn't it take two people to release the chaos ball? Why was he released alone? Moreover, the chaos ball is composed of two conflicting Mephisto powers. Now it only has dark power. Will its power be compromised? Qinhu Shangyi guessed. Lin Nan sighed. He is indeed a magic genius. Although Casas also needed two people to release the chaos ball before. But after seeing that he could be released alone that day, he clearly realized something. The black chaos ball released now vaguely refers to his own ideas. However, with this pure dark power, he should not be prepared to detonate two conflicting magical energies to form a magical shock wave. Instead, they simply rely on the destructive characteristics of dark power to attack the enemy. After only a few days of taking refuge in Dormammu, he was able to transform advanced magic so successfully. The talent is indeed very high. However, what Casas didn't expect was that Lin Nan, was stronger than him. I saw Lin Nan flying high, and the vortex behind him was also condensed, but it was black and white. What's this? Casas and Qinhu Shangyi were stunned. The power of the white vortex, if you guessed it correctly, should come from Emperor Weishan. Because he is the energy source of all white magic. The black vortex, could it be black magic energy? Lin Nan has also taken refuge in Dormammu, can he borrow his power? When did this happen? Qinhu Shangyi blind chicken guessed. Casas was confused at first, then became shocked. Because he felt that his dark power was passing away. How is this going? He hurriedly communicated with Dormammu. Dormammu's true body can only stay in the dark space. Therefore, the message sent out is also vague and not very clear. The general idea is that dark magic energy believes in the strong. A strong person does not necessarily have to be powerful, talent is also important. Lin Nan used his familiarity with multi-dimensional space and his top-notch magic talent. Communicated with the dark power borrowed by Casas, causing him to turn against him and betray him continuously. Casas, who knew the truth, this man who always appeared as a sinister and iron man, was about to shed tears. Oh my God, why? Oh, no, Casas doesn't believe in God. My Weishan Emperor is not right either. My Dormammu. Phew, the dark power was flowing towards Lin Nan continuously. What is the use of Dormammu? It's okay if you don't believe in this Lord of Darkness. Casas made a move and directly removed the dark chaos ball. Anyway, the dark power was quickly drained by Lin Nan. He didn't feel bad either. Out of sight is pure. Directly constructed countless space blades. Floating around him. In Qinhu Shang's glance, Casas seemed to be surrounded by countless small lenses. Layers of reflection reflected his figure. Space array. Plus it's in Casas' own mirror space. He can twist it however he wants. For a moment, both Qinhu Shangyi and Lin Nan felt that the whole space was spinning, and they couldn't distinguish between up, down, left and right. Casas used his mastery of the mirror space to continuously twist and turn, confusing Lin Nan's vision and hearing. When the time is right, his space array will cut Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyi into pieces. It's now. Casas' magic induction noticed Lin Nan's momentary loss of concentration. The space array was activated, and countless space blades flew towards Lin Nan, intending to tear him into pieces. Just when he thought he was bound to win, he suddenly found himself falling into another dimension. How is this going? Then, after a little exploration, as a top mage, he discovered the reason. Lin Nan actually released a mirror space again in his mirror space. You know, even top mages like the Ancient One Mage, Dr. Strange, and him can place a portal in other people's mirror space, which is already called a god-level operation. This Lin Nan, as a junior mage, once again released the mirror space in the mirror space of his top mage. What is this operation? Weishan Emperor level operation? Or is it a creator level operation? He tried it, but he couldn't even release a portal in Lin Nan's mirror space. Why is that? Lin Nan's mirror space doesn't look as big as his, and its structure isn't very complicated. Structure. Not complicated. No, he studied it carefully and seemed to have fallen into some kind of ecstasy. Something is wrong with this mirror space. It seems to be arranged according to a certain pattern. As long as there are rules, there is a possibility of cracking it. Casas showed his top magic talent. In this emergency situation, he actually noticed the specialness of Lin Nan's mirror space. And found a certain pattern. He is truly a top genius. Lin Nan praised outside. What the hell did you do? Mirror space. Qinhu Shangyi saw that Casas seemed to be locked into a glass space by Lin Nan. As a junior mage, I have only seen Wang, another great mage, release the mirror space. He didn't expect Lin Nan to be able to release such advanced magic at first. Later I discovered that it seemed that Lin Nan had seen this mirror space before. Therefore, he guessed. Indeed, it is a mirror space. Lin Nan answered very proudly. What? Qinhu Shangyi was shocked. Although he did not learn the advanced magic of mirror space. But the basic principles are all available in the Kamar-Taj magic library. He has seen quite a few. Therefore, we also know that for those who are trapped, the only way out of the mirror space is through the portal. This requires you to have very high attainments in space magic. Even a top mage like Wang may not be able to release a portal in the mirror space released by a mage of the same level. Not to mention freeing up another mirror space. But what has our classmate Lin Nan done now? He once again released a mirror space of his own in the mirror space of top archmage Casas. Moreover, Casas is trapped in Lin Nan's mirror space. And Lin Nan is just a junior mage. Qinhu Shangyi looked at Lin Nan with eyes filled with admiration. Lin Nan, you are so amazing. As he said that, he was about to hug her. Go, get away. Stop being so disgusting. Lin Nan quickly got out of the way. What's the difference in this mirror space of yours? Qinhu Shang smiled. Why can a top talent like Casas be trapped in it? Isn't this what it should be? Is his space magic attainment so difficult that it's not as good as yours? He asked suspiciously. How to say? Lin Nan curled his lips and smiled. As the top archmage, Casas created top-level space magic such as Space Blade. His space magic skills are definitely stronger than mine. But, Lin Nan paused, I added the wisdom of my ancestors. The wisdom of our ancestors. Qinhu Shangyi blinked his eyes and seemed to recall something. Is it really gossip? Right, Lin Nan affirmed. I can't believe that you actually know something about Chinese culture. He praised Qinhu Shangyi. Hey, I've been with you for a long time, so I know a little bit about it. Qinhu Shangyi said modestly. There used to be a famous military strategist named Zug. Lin Nan turned on the storytelling mode. He invented a formation called Bagua Formation. Successfully held back tens of thousands of enemy troops. Become famous in one fight. It has become one of the most famous formations in Chinese history. My mirror space uses the idea of Bagua. Can Casas figure it out? Wait 800 years. However, Casas, as a top mage, has rich combat experience. After discovering that I was trapped, I tried a variety of methods to break through. For example, sending out detection waves to check the weaknesses of Lin Nan's mirror space. Unfortunately, he was disappointed. This mirror space is as perfect as an art film. Even Casas himself may not be able to release such a perfect mirror space. What's even more special is that even he found the weak point of the space. It will also change position in just a moment. Up and down, front and back, left and right can be exchanged at any time. Because of the special nature of the mirror space, Casas feels like he has entered a maze made entirely of glass. The weak point you see is probably 1,000 twists and turns. And after you passed by, Lin Nan already didn't know where to replace it. It's like being trapped inside a Rubik's Cube. Lin Nan switched the position of the space at will, just like switching the blocks of a Rubik's Cube. Trapped in this maze-like space, no matter how talented Casas is, there is nothing he can do. After being trapped for a while, he decided to use his ultimate trick, the space array. An array of countless space blades vowed to cut Lin Nan's mirror space into pieces. With a gloomy face, he shouted to Lin Nan outside the space, "You are indeed a genius. You are the first person to put me in such trouble since I became the archmage. But that's the end of the matter. You will pay for this." He roared loudly, and the invisible space array flew up. His figure was reflected by countless broken glass. This is a sign that Lin Nan's mirror space is fragmented. Lin Nan, what should I do? He seems to be coming out. Qinhu Shangyi shouted in horror. No need to rush. Lin Nan said calmly. Behind him, the black and white vortex never stopped turning. Now they are starting to gradually integrate. What is this? The chaos ball doesn't look like this. Qinhu Shangyi asked. This is the yin-yang chaos ball. White is the white magic energy from Emperor Weishan, and black is the black magic power of the dark space. The black magic energy is given by Master Casas in front of me. Lin Nan replied. This, if you were to release it, it would be so difficult that you would directly. Qinhu Shangyi swallowed his saliva and did not dare to say the second half of the sentence. Because this was beyond his knowledge, even beyond his imagination. I will kill Casas directly. Lin Nan was very confident and completed what Qinhu Shangyi had not finished. Qinhu Shang's whole body was numb. Why, when Lin Nan said this, he didn't even have any doubts. It has only been a little over a month since he became a junior mage, and he can directly kill Casas, the top genius archmage who has been famous for a long time and has experienced hundreds of battles, in a direct duel. If this were told, who would believe it? But when Qinhu Shang saw the black and white yin-yang chaos ball, he didn't have any doubts and believed Lin Nan's words. As one of the new generation geniuses, he may be slightly worse than the cheating Lin Nan, but there is no doubt about his original strength. He was keenly aware that Lin Nan's yin and yang chaos ball brought him a sense of oppression that was even stronger than that of Casas. What's more, the mirror space released by Lin Nan now traps Casas. Another point is that the strong confidence Lin Nan exudes now has infected him. Casas' space array wreaked havoc in Lin Nan's mirror space, attacking like a violent storm. Space cracks can be seen everywhere, and the power of space revealed forms tiny black holes. It continuously absorbs the energy around it. Casas noticed something was wrong. These tiny black holes blocked his ability to control the space array. After all, even the archmage cannot freely shuttle through such dense space cracks. If you are not careful, you may cut yourself into several parts. How come this mirror space is so stable? It's almost turned into a hornet's nest, and there's no intention of breaking it up. How could the mirror space constructed by a mere junior mage be so powerful? After Casas' space array cut this mirror space full of holes, he was still trapped inside. There was no hope of escape and no chance of counterattack. On the contrary, because of these space cracks, the scope of his activities is limited to a narrow range. At this time, he looked up and saw that the integration of the black and white vortex had been completed. It has become a harmonious black and white two-color Tai Chi ball. What's this? Because Qinhu Shangyi was relatively close to Lin Nan, he immediately recognized it as Tai Chi. Tai Chi Chaos Ball, he couldn't help but blurt out. Well, that's good, I actually know Tai Chi. Lin Nan complimented casually. The previous prompts from the system are still vivid in my mind. The host faced the challenge of the top mage, remained calm in the face of danger, and trapped him perfectly. Every skill and magic senses the host's high fighting spirit, and they practice harder, doubling their speed. Due to the efforts of various magic skills, the host has a new understanding of yin and yang and space magic. The host's chaos ball magic integrates the latest understanding of yin and yang, and evolves and upgrades into a Tai Chi chaos ball. Tai Chi chaos ball, 1/9, 2%. Because of the bonus of magic talent, the Tai Chi chaos ball release level is level 3. In the original plot that Lin Nan knew, Casas worked with others to release the first version of the Chaos Ball, which blew up half of the Kamar-Taj London temple. You know, it is a temple with a top mage, and all kinds of protective magic can be used for free. The power of Chaos Ball can be imagined. Now, the Tai Chi Chaos Ball integrates the top metaphysical ideas of Chinese Taoism, and it is level 3 as soon as it is released. How can Casas resist this? Qinhu Shangyi felt the perfect harmony of the unity of nature and man from the Tai Chi Chaos Ball. This shocked him very much. Because the highest requirement of Ninja Dao is the unity of nature and man. The ninjutsu teacher of Koga Ryu told him that only by reaching the state of unity between heaven and man can he become the strongest ninja. However, in history, all the famous ninjas have only been infinitely close to this state, but have never really reached it. The various images and insights they left behind about the unity of nature and man made Qinhu Shangyi intoxicated. This was of great help to his spiritual cultivation. This also created his extraordinary magical talent. And now, he actually saw the perfect harmony between man and nature on Lin Nan's Tai Chi Chaos Ball. This made him very doubtful. Is Lin Nan's true strength really just a junior mage? Although Casas is trapped in the mirror space, he can still see the Tai Chi Chaos Ball. As a top magic genius, he is sure that this is one of the most perfect magics he has ever seen. The white magic energy from Emperor Weixin and the black magic energy from the dark space are integrated harmoniously. However, he knew that the moment Lin Nan activated it, how powerful the destructive power produced by the collision of the two energies was. He has no chance of winning. Although he knew that because he had only switched to Dormammu for a short period of time, his control over the black magic energy was still insufficient. As a result, his strength has actually declined compared to his peak period. But even if his strength is fully restored, he still can't withstand the blow of this Tai Chi Chaos Ball. Now he has some regrets. Because he found that Lin Nan was the person most likely to fulfill his wish to resurrect his wife and children. However, there is no turning back when the bow is fired. He killed Kamar-Taj's librarian. The source of his own magical energy has been converted into Dormammu's dark magical power. In addition to space magic, the white magic from Emperor Weixin is basically unusable. Even if he uses it forcefully, Emperor Weixin will be repelled by him, and the magic power will not be as powerful as before. This was also the main reason why he turned to using space magic to compete with Lin Nan. Looking at the Tai Chi Chaos Ball that was ready to go, he called on all the power of space he could summon. They gathered in front of him, forming a huge space protective film. "Come on, Junior Mage, let me see your true strength," he roared. "As you wish," Lin Nan said in a deep voice. The Tai Chi Chaos Ball has been charged to the limit of Lin Nan's control. If you don't launch it, you may be blown up to pieces. The black and white Tai Chi Chaos Ball rushed towards Casas at a speed that seemed slow but was actually fast. It is said to be slow because of the perception of onlookers. In fact, it has exceeded the speed of light. It forcibly distorted time and space and changed the flow of time around it. Just like on a spacecraft traveling at super light speed, the astronauts feel that only 1 year has passed. But it has been the same for hundreds of years on Earth. Now Lin Nan, Cheeto Kumaichi and Casas are the astronauts on the spacecraft. In their eyes, the spacecraft was running at normal speed. But in the eyes of others, the spacecraft had exceeded the speed of light and had disappeared the moment it started, appearing tens of thousands of kilometers away. Casas looked at the huge sphere, breaking through his own space protection barrier inch by inch. "My heart is full of rejection, but I have no choice but to stop it. It's like watching yourself in slow motion being swallowed up by huge amounts of light and energy." Voice, body, everything, disappeared without a trace. And everything happened within a few seconds after Lin Nan said it was as you wished. Qinhu Shangyi has never observed in such detail how a top-level magician releases his power and devours his opponent. This feeling is so amazing. By the time he regains consciousness, Casas has been completely erased from this universe. Immediately afterwards, Lin Nan's cry came to my ears, "Run!" As a top ninja, he didn't know what happened. Based on instinctive reaction, a water substitute technique was directly released. Lin Nan also immediately released the Bagua magic shield, magic armor and the ring of Ragador, covering himself layer by layer. Then, Qinhu Shangyi saw that the temporary dormitory where he and Lin Nan seemed to have vaporized and disappeared. So close. Lin Nan removed all his protection and wiped away the cold sweat. "How is this going?" Qinhu Shangyi asked in confusion. When Casas died, the mirror space he released disappeared into thin air, and even the matter mapped in this space disappeared directly into the multi-universe. Lin Nan explained. Qinhu Shang was a little stunned when he heard this. "It can still be like this." Then I thought about it, Casas is dead, what else is impossible? "Well, when the king comes to check later, how about you say that there was something wrong with your space blade cultivation, which caused a large space crack that directly swallowed up the dormitory room?" Lin Nan discussed with him. "Why do I always take the blame?" Qinhu Shangyi was a little troubled. "Well, my space blade and mirror space are perfect. If I say it was a mistake, I won't believe it even to death." "You are more reliable," Lin Nan said sarcastically. "All right, this reason is really irrefutable." Qinhu Shangyi reluctantly accepted. "But I am more reliable. Why does it sound weird? Is this guy Lin Nan mocking me?" His little head was filled with big questions. When the king came over, he listened to their explanation. There is no doubt, he said to Qinhu Shangyi sincerely, I know you are very talented. You can also learn the space blade that neither the Ancient One Mage nor Doctor Strange has learned. But causing such great damage makes it difficult for me, who is responsible for staying behind, to handle it. Although Kamar-Taj is rich, he cannot afford to go through such trouble several times. Let's see, Lin Nan's mirror space is very stable. Compared to me, it's on par. Next time you practice Space Blade, go to his mirror space. I already said hello. Roommates should help each other. He looked for Lin Nan. Lin Nan understood and winked at Qinhu Shang. Wang thought this was a tacit understanding among their new generation of mages. Cheeto Kumaichi sighed, well, you're right. In his heart, he slandered. Lin Nan's mirror space can even cover up the super explosion that killed Casas. Is it as good as yours? You must have overestimated yourself. By the way, did you practice the space blade so frequently, did it attract Casas's attention? This traitor is like a turtle hiding after killing someone. I can't even find it. Just as Wang was about to leave, he suddenly remembered Casas and asked them. Qinhu Shangyi and Wang Nan looked at each other and said in unison, we don't know anything. That's right, you two junior mages won't be of much help to his rebellion. However, it is said that he is recruiting talented mages to join him to study dark magic. You have to be careful. The Lord of Darkness, Dormammu, is not a good person. Wang patted his head and said to himself. There was no doubt about the denials of Qinhu Shangyi and Lin Nan. Because based on his understanding of Casas, a junior mage, no matter how talented he is, would have to be at least an intermediate level before he would even take a look at him. Wang checked the original temporary dormitory area. I sighed, this TM is too clean. Not a trace of dregs was left. This Qinhu Shangyi is really a talent. At first it was just about breaking down the wall. Now the whole house is gone. Fortunately, Kamar-Taj's dormitory is not a building. Otherwise, the entire building will disappear. Then something big could happen. Fortunately, Kamar-Taj is big enough and has enough houses. Wang found a temporary dormitory for the two of them. Qian Dingzhu and Wan asked Qinhu Shangyi not to practice the space blade in the room. After receiving the guarantee, they left with peace of mind. So, Lin Nan, how long are you going to conceal the death of Casas? Qinhu Shangyi asked after the king left. Wait until I become the archmage. At that time, I said that I met Casas in a certain space. After a hard battle, I drove him into a crack in a certain space and never saw him again. Lin Nan said casually. Well, indeed, after becoming the archmage, I am indeed much more persuasive than I am now. Otherwise, with your current status as a junior mage, if I tell you, I will have to cut you into slices for study. After Qinhu Shang heard this, he thought for a while and joked with Lin Nan with a smile. Slices. No one knows slicing better than me. Lin Nan directly constructed the space blade and cut a small piece of space into a layer of cake. I really envy you, you master these high-level magics so quickly and well. Qinhu Shangyi said sincerely. Hey, do you want to learn? If you want to learn, go to the library and study the Chinese yin and yang theory, the 5 elements and bagua, etc. Really, fake, dark space, dark temple. A strange and transparent energy appeared, condensed into a human-like shape, and wrapped in a black robe. In his eyes were 2 flames that seemed to never go out. 2 sneaky, translucent figures appeared in front of him and bowed respectfully. Lord Dormammu, we have checked too many. Although there was nothing there, there were very strong spatial fluctuations. Before Casas disappeared, he left a spatial mark nearby. We have tried every means but can't contact him. Furthermore, Kamar-Taj's inspections have been very strict recently, and we couldn't stay any longer, so we came back early. Black flames rose from Dormammu's hands. No, Master Dormammu, we waste. Black flames rose up, swallowed up the 2 people, and merged into Dormammu's body. I can't do this little thing well. That Casas is said to be one of the most talented people in Kamar-Taj. His strength is among the best in the area among the Kamar-Taj mages I have seen. Not inferior to the Ancient One Mage and Doctor Strange I have seen before. Even, in terms of attainments in space magic, it is even stronger than the first 2. It's only been a few days since you took refuge with me. It disappeared so simply. There must be some conspiracy. Or maybe Kamar-Taj is hiding a certain peerless master. A master on the same level as the Ancient One and Doctor Strange. After discovering his rebellion, you directly killed him. Well, it seems that it is necessary to re-evaluate Kamar-Taj's strength. If there are too many such hidden masters, it will definitely interfere with my plan to unify the universe. Recently, the Chitauri seem to be launching a massive attack on Earth. Perhaps, I can make some contributions here and fish in troubled waters. I don't believe it. You can't force Kamar-Taj to be really powerful. Gia 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 Gia. Dormammu's arrogant laughter spread in the dark space. In New York, starships covering the sky appeared in the sky. Many high-rise buildings were broken into two sections. There were fires, ruins, and smoke everywhere. On the streets, ordinary people and cars were running for their lives. Soldiers and policemen were running around to maintain order, them driving tanks, police cars, and carrying guns and cannons. They fought to the death with Chitauri soldiers falling from the sky. But the damage was huge. After all, the Chitauri are an extraordinary race, and their technology exceeds that of the current Earth, so the strengths of the two sides are not on the same level. The real confrontation depends on shield agents, Avengers and mutants. Iron Man Stark flew in the sky and destroyed a Chitauri spaceship with rays. He had been fighting for several hours, and the steel suit on his body was full of scratches and scorched marks. Jarvis, have you received any message from Kamar-Taj? If they don't show up, New York will be in ruins. He asked anxiously. Sorry, Master, there is no information about Kamar-Taj yet. In addition, the damage degree of your suit is close to 30%, and the energy is only 20%. It is recommended to replace it immediately. Okay, launch a new suit for me. Stark ordered. Yes, doesn't Kamar-Taj have a portal? They should be here soon, right? Why haven't you come yet? Hawkeye was on the communicator, chiming in. While he was talking, he raised his hand and drew his bow to kill a Chitauri soldier who came to attack him. Immediately afterwards, another soldier rushed towards him. He reached for the quiver, but it was empty. He had no choice but to fight hand to hand with the Chitauri soldiers. In another block, a thunder struck in the sky, and another Chitauri spacecraft was shot down. Thor raised his hammer gracefully and fired lightning again. At the same time, he also put on a communicator. After all, other people don't know magic. It's much easier to communicate with other members of the Avengers using this thing. The king of Kamar-Taj sent a message saying that they were attacked by the dark space. It will take a while before they can close the space channel. You can come over only then. He said. Fark. Why choose this time to attack in this dark space? Have they formed an alliance with the Chitauri? Hulk twisted several Chitauri soldiers into a ball and threw them out. He took the time to write in his address book. But the Chitauri soldiers in the sky jumped down like dumplings. He had to find another open space as a battlefield. Although he is extremely powerful, elephants are also afraid of ants, right? If dark space and the Chitauri form an alliance, how can we in New York stand this? Black Widow dealt with a Chitauri soldier who was chasing a little girl and tidied her hair around her ears. By the way, I said it in the address book. I took a look, and there was no portal in the dark space around me. They should be coincidences. Stark flew in a circle, scanned the surrounding environment, and said, that is not bad. Captain America used his shield to pin a small group of Chitauri soldiers into a corner. SHIELD headquarters. Nick Fury was in the command room, watching the various battle situations on the surveillance screen, and was extremely anxious. Can you tell me how the evacuation is going? He asked his subordinates. Reporting to the director, there are currently about 10 million citizens in New York. According to various statistics, more than 70 million residents have been evacuated. Perhaps nearly 20 million residents have died, and about 10 million residents are still in the city. The female secretary next to her was holding a handheld data device, reading and reporting at the same time. What's the situation like in other cities? He continued to ask. In addition to New York, major cities such as Washington, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Seattle were all attacked by the Chitauri. It is estimated that their casualty ratio may be much greater than that of New York. The main reason is that the Avengers and superheroes are mostly concentrated in New York City. Ordinary troops and police, and a small number of superheroes cannot withstand the attack of the Chitauri. The female secretary spoke quickly, but she was obviously a little depressed. Is it difficult to imagine that the United States will enter the wasteland era due to alien attacks? Nick Fury thinks of the science fiction novels and comics he read as a child. Writers and cartoonists at that time imagined that the Earth would enter the wasteland era because of the Third World War, in which each country would throw nuclear bombs at each other for free. Now, although it is not a nuclear bomb, the Chitauri's weapons are only slightly more powerful than nuclear bombs. Moreover, they have no scruples. The worst thing is, just change to another planet. For them, it is not difficult. Nick Fury felt weak. By the way, didn't you send a distress message to Kamar-Taj? Even if they didn't receive it, they should have seen the Chitauri spaceship and would have opened the portal long ago, right? As soon as he sat on the chair, he remembered that there seemed to be tens of thousands of magicians in Kamar-Taj. There are hundreds of archmages among them. In other words, it is also the largest top-level combat force on Earth. Why haven't they been seen in the news from around the world? He was very confused. Kamar-Taj. The sky was dark. Huge amounts of whirlpools swirl above it. A steady stream of dark creatures jump down like dumplings. There are almost one or two dark creatures in front of each mage fighting with them. As the current top person in charge of Kamar-Taj, Modu leads the battle in a unified manner. He also looked very worried. If only Casas had not rebelled. He has so much experience, he must know how to deal with it. What a pity. While feeling regretful, he sent a voice command to the king. Wong, gather the archmages of the secret team and activate large-scale collective magic to seal the dark passage. Well, the assembly has been completed. Wong replied. Including him, the 12 archmages who stayed at Kamar-Taj formed a circle and concentrated their magic power together. A shining magic ball rises. After waiting for a while, this magic ball will shoot straight into the sky and seal the huge amounts of dark vortex, that is, the dark passage in the sky. Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyi, together with other mages, resisted the attack of dark creatures in the Kamar-Taj building complex. Lin Nan, you said that the attack of these dark creatures was due to Dormammu's revenge for killing Casas. Cheeto Kuma used a magic kunai to eliminate the hellhound who was preparing for a sneak attack, and then slashed another dark mutant in half with a backhand sword. Not sure. Don't Dome know that I killed Casas? After my Tai Chi Chaos Ball is released, the two magical energies will collide and annihilate, leaving no mark in the universe. This is scientific common sense, just like matter and antimatter. Lin Nan was wearing magic armor, and the Bagua magic shields were rotating around him. Dark creatures couldn't find a chance at all. He took the time to use fireballs or space blades to kill dark creatures easily and comfortably like whack-a-mole. Yeah, but the timing of this dark creature's attack is too coincidental, right? Qinhu Shangyi expressed disbelief, and at the same time, a gorgeous eye eliminated the enemy in front of him. Yeah, the Chitauri are attacking the whole world. I didn't offend the Chitauri, did I? Perhaps Dormammu expected it and therefore united to launch this attack. Lin Nan guessed. By the way, why don't you use Tai Chi Chaos Balls? With such great power, we will definitely be able to get rid of these dark fools very quickly. Qinhu Shangyi asked. Well, there is such a big dark portal above. I use the Tai Chi Chaos Ball to use part of Dormammu's power. Isn't this supposed to provide a power channel for Dormammu? It's not like I can suppress it. When the time comes, I will be devoured by Dormammu, who will I complain to? Besides, Dormammu might be able to make an appearance through me. The Ancient One and Doctor Strange are not here again. Casas is dead again. Who can stop him? Lin Nan analyzed it. But aren't you stronger than Casas? Qinhu Shangyi said doubtfully. I just took advantage of Casas's loophole. He just defected to Dormammu, and he is not proficient in controlling the dark magic energy of the dark space. Otherwise, with his strength in his heyday, I will definitely be the one who dies. Moreover, he has much more experience than me in the current situation of this large army's combat. Lin Nan explained. At this moment, the collective magic of Wong and other archmages was activated, and a huge amount of light ball rose from the center of Kamar-Taj. After the blessing of Kamar-Taj's protective array, the light ball was surrounded by surging magical energy. Anyone with a little bit of magic perception knows that this guy is as powerful as a nuclear bomb, or even stronger. The surrounding dark creatures received Dormammu's order and rushed over like moths to the flame, and were then electrocuted into ashes. Mage, he actually has such skills. It seems that this time, we can't force those hidden masters to show up. Through the surveillance eye in front, Dormammu saw the huge amounts of magic light ball rising and flying towards the dark portal, but was unable to stop it. Snort. He had already anticipated the failure of this operation. Next time, I will let you taste the fear of the dark. On Kamar-Taj's side, as the light ball rose, the dark portal in the sky was opened. The remaining dark creatures were killed one by one. Immediately afterwards, several huge amounts of golden portals appeared in the square. Masters, gather together. The Chitauri are attacking Earth. Please take your responsibility and protect our common home. Mordu's voice echoed over Kamar-Taj. Chapter 31. Qinhu Shangyi and Lin Nan were stunned when they heard Mordu's voice. Is this the moment we just finished fighting the dark forces in Kamar-Taj, and are we going to make a transition? Don't know which battlefield you will be assigned to. It seems that Doctor Strange is in charge of the London Temple, so there should be no shortage of people. That would most likely be the New York Temple. Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyi were preparing to rush to the portal. I met Tutor Lanchi halfway. She looked in a hurry, but her makeup was not messy at all. It's just that the costume is tighter and more combat-oriented, a bit like the Black Widow. Hey, Lin Nan, Qinhu Shangyi, I finally found you. She said very happily. There was still sweat on her forehead, it seemed she was really in a hurry. Teacher Lanchi, do you have anything to do with us? Lin Nan asked curiously. The situation is so urgent now. Is there any important task assigned to me? That was really exciting. He was looking forward to it. Qinhu Shangyi was a little hesitant, although he was also very strong. But it is said that the Chitauri are good at shape-shifting and have extremely powerful technology. All kinds of thermal weapons, ray weapons, biological and chemical weapons, etc. If you accidentally get them, 10 lives are not enough. Therefore, he thought, if the task was too difficult, should he find an excuse to run away? Didn't you go to learn magic from King He on the way? You haven't learned the healing magic in the subsequent courses, right? Now I can temporarily make up for you. Teacher Lanchi said. Is this okay? Logically speaking, doesn't Kamar-Taj teach magic in 1 week? Now everyone is going to the battlefield. If I learn it for a few minutes, will it be useful? Teacher Lanchi, the war is about to begin, do you still have time to learn magic? Lin Nan asked. When Qinhu Shang heard this, he quickly said, it's good to learn magic. Teacher Lanchi, can I learn it together too? He thought that learning magic would take at least a week. Even if there is an emergency now, it will still take 2 or 3 days if the time is short. The battle situation ahead is so urgent now that it will take 2 or 3 days for the Avengers superheroes to finish almost all the Chitauri's main force. It's safe and secure to go there by yourself. Delightful. He thought happily. Oh, yes, Qinhu Shangyi, you should also review it. Anyway, the principles of healing magic are not difficult. It only takes Lin Nan a few minutes to learn. It's completely in time to catch up with the main force. Teacher Lanchi also calmed down at this time and said patiently. What, how many minutes? Did I hear it correctly? Teacher Lanchi, did you make a mistake somewhere? When did magic become as simple as 1 + 1? Normal magic learning time starts in 1 week. To truly master it, it will take at least a month. Although Lin Nan and I are both geniuses, are you sure you are not teasing us? Teacher Lanchi, how many minutes? Are you sure? Qinhu Shangyi asked in disbelief. It might take you a little longer. But Lin Nan can definitely do it. Teacher Lanchi's words caused a critical hit of 10,000 points to Qinhu Shangyi. What are these words? Qinhu Shangyi was very angry. Over there, Teacher Lanchi had already begun to explain healing magic, but he didn't listen to a word. I was thinking about how I should refute Teacher Lanchi. Before he could think of an idea, he heard a loud bang, as if someone was releasing some attack magic. Turning around, Lin Nan shot a white ray towards the injured mage on the stretcher. What are you doing? Qinhu Shangyi was shocked, thinking that Lin Nan had gone crazy and was going to kill his classmates at Kamar-Taj. As a result, the next second, the injured mage stood up. He jumped a little and was surprised to find that his injury was healed. Ah, thank you, Archmage, what is your name? He saw the white ray emitted by Lin Nan, so he immediately ran over to thank Lin Nan. Well, I'm not a great mage, I'm just an ordinary mage student of Kamar-Taj. My name is Lin Nan. Oh, thank you, Master Lin Nan. Thank you, your healing magic is awesome. It is the most powerful healing magic I have ever experienced. The other party still called Lin Nan the Archmage. Lin Nan was helpless and could only accept the other party's praise. Fortunately, the other party's mentor came to him. Otherwise, Lin Nan would probably be annoyed to death by him. Qinhu Shangyi was dumbfounded the whole time. After the cured mage left, he said, Lin Nan, have you really learned healing magic? There's nothing strange about this. He learned the magic taught by Wang and Casas in half a class. The healing magic is so simple, it only takes a few minutes. Lan Qi also learned from Wang that Lin Nan had learned many advanced and top-level magics in half a class, and combined with her own personal experience, she concluded that Lin Nan could learn healing magic in a few minutes. She shook her hair and said, okay, my mission is completed. I have other things to do, so I won't accompany you. In addition, you are arranged to teleport at the 7th portal in the East District. Go there quickly. The war in New York is tense now and we need your help. After saying that, she waved her hands and left in a hurry. Lin Nan shrugged at Qinhu Shangyi, indeed, you saw it too. Let's go. After saying that, he turned around and walked towards the East District. Qinhu Shangyi didn't know whether he was disappointed or lost for a moment. Lin Nan actually learned healing magic in just a few minutes. Moreover, a seriously injured mage was cured in an instant. He originally thought that Lin Nan's previous half of the class was just an introduction to magic. It will take at least a month to cultivate to such a powerful power. But looking back now, it seems that Lin Nan has only awakened his magic talent for more than a month. And the first time the magic shield is released, it is already level 3. The scarlet necklace of Sator, the sacred sword of Emperor Weishan, the energy whip, the ring of Ragador, the construction of magic weapons, and the mirror space were subsequently learned. If an ordinary mage came to learn these, he would at least be an intermediate mage. It would take 10 years to learn them, for many years. If he really learned it in more than 10 years, he would be a genius-level mage who walked sideways in Kamar-Taj. It's delicious everywhere. Lin Nan has mastered them all in just over a month, and they are all at level 6 or 7. It turns out that the gap between me and him is already so big. When Qinhu Shang thought of what Master Lan Qi had just said, he felt less uncomfortable. The gap between humans is really wider than the gap between humans and dogs. He suddenly understood this popular internet phrase. What are you doing standing still? Come here quickly. Lin Nan stood in front of the golden portal and said hello. New York. The sky was filled with Kurita battleships, covering the sky and the sun. What was even more terrifying than the previous 2 days was that whale battleships also joined in. They fly in the air as if swimming in the sea. He opened his bloody mouth and bit down, and Gao Lao Mansion was directly bitten off. Passing helicopters and airplanes are like small fish and shrimps that have entered a huge whale. They are swallowed and spit out and become residue. There was black smoke and flames everywhere, and crowds were scattered. Stark held a crying little girl and placed her on the aid bus. When the children and medical staff on the bus saw the shining steel armor, their eyes lit up and they all stood up. Wow, it's Iron Man. So handsome, I want to marry him, said a blonde girl with starry eyes. Mr. Stark, I am your fan, can you give me an autograph? A white man in his early 20s ran over with a pen and a homemade Iron Man poster. When Stark saw it, he frowned, pointed his hand, and presented a laser-engraved signature. Then before anyone could react, he flew into the sky. It's very dangerous here, please leave immediately. He was flying in the sky, firing lasers to shoot down the pursuing Kurita soldiers, and turning on the communicator, Jarvis, when will Kamar-Taj's support arrive? It was obvious that he was exhausted from the past few days of fighting and would soon be unable to hold on any longer. Mr. Stark, right now, look in the air. Stark looked up and saw a golden portal appearing. Neat mage formations appeared one by one. Finally come. The magicians of Kamar-Taj. Stark breathed a sigh of relief. The mages who came out directly released countless mirror spaces, pulling in the vast Chidori soldiers and battleships that looked like swarms of locusts. The whole of New York felt a lot more refreshing. Thank God. Finally we don't have to face alien hybrids like swarms of locusts. Captain America put away his shield, shook off the blood on it, sat down and took a deep breath. I thought you were an Iron Man and didn't need to rest. Hawkeye, on the other hand, lay on his back, lying directly on the ground, looking at the blue sky and white clouds that reappeared and said, I just have stronger physical strength than ordinary people, and I'm not like Stark, who can just change my armor and batteries and continue on the battlefield. Captain America said angrily, Hey, I heard someone talking bad about me behind my back. Stark's voice came over the communicator. It's difficult, isn't it? Captain America said unhappily, I am also a human being with limited energy. I haven't slept for 3 days now and I can't hold on any longer. Someone come and take over from me. Stark's voice was loud, but it sounded sluggish, and he was really tired. Stark, wake up. Activate autopilot mode. Soon, Stark's voice was replaced by Jarvis's. Captain America and Hawkeye looked at each other. This Stark is so mean. Actually fell asleep directly. It seems that he is still in the sky, but fortunately there is Jarvis. Otherwise, if it falls directly, it will be a disaster. Impossible energy fluctuations appear ahead. After detection, they do not belong to any friendly forces. Aim the laser and fire. Laser doesn't work. It's a dark portal. Jarvis is calling for backup. Stark is calling for backup. Jarvis's mechanical voice actually sounds a little panicked. It makes people wonder, is it really artificial intelligence? Dark portal. The Avengers members with communicators, Jarvis's anxious voice, were a little confused for a moment. Isn't the Ancient One Mage entangled with them in the dark space? How could it be transmitted directly to Earth? Thor looked solemn. It seems that the only heroes who can resist magic are him, Asgard, Vision and other heroes, as well as Kamar-Taj. Iron Man was mentally exhausted and had passed out. Hulk, Hawkeye, and Black Widow lacked the ability to deal large-scale damage to these dark creatures. Now most of Kamar-Taj's mages are fighting with Kurita's soldiers. Now how to do? He picked up Thor's hammer and felt helpless as he watched the dark creatures densely teleporting in front of him. I have no choice but to bite the bullet. I saw him making a power-charging action on the spot, causing the ladder to fly into the sky, turn into a black dot, and then fall down with thunder and lightning. When it landed, with him as the center, it became an oscillating radio wave with a radius of 1 kilometer, sweeping away all the dark creatures in it. Those on the periphery were also hit by lightning chains, shaking endlessly, and then turned into a pile of coke. Tisk, tisk, that's pretty good. A mean voice sounded. Loki, it's you. Even if this voice turns into ashes, Thor can still recognize it. You actually joined forces with Dormammu. He looked at the black lightning wrapped around Loki's hand and said in surprise. Joining forces. Is Dormammu worthy? I'm just using him. You know, I am the god of trickery. Loki said proudly. That stupid guy just said a few nice words and lent me the dark power and the dark army. How about it? Your brother is not only a magic genius, but also a military genius. There was a hint of fanaticism in Loki's eyes. My dear brother, are you jealous? You scum. Asgard will be embarrassed by you. Thor gritted his teeth and said. Thor's hammer rushed straight towards Loki with lightning. Loki stretched out his hand and pinched it with his fingers. Then 2 huge black tentacles appeared, directly clamping down on Thor's hammer. Although I can't lift Thor's hammer, Dormammu can. As the Lord of Darkness, his power is really good, it's really fascinating. My dear brother, don't you think about it? Compared to this silly hammer of Thor, the power of darkness can make you more powerful than ever. Loki wrapped his hand around it and started playing with it as if holding a cigarette. The black tentacles also rolled up Thor's hammer simultaneously, making the same various movements. Thor silently recited a spell in his mind, waved his hand, and Thor's hammer struggled a few times, and finally returned to his hand. That's all. The caretaker weighed the Thor's hammer he received and found nothing wrong with it. Fortunately, it was not contaminated by the dark power. Loki's expression changed. He just felt that his power was out of control for a moment. Is it an illusion, or is it that I still can't fully grasp the power that Dormammu gave me? It's interesting, but I won't do it next time. Loki grabbed his hand, and black lightning was entrenched above his head. It was obvious that he was gathering strength. Well, that must have been an accident just now. Well, an accident must be an accident. Now the dark power is pure and obedient. I'm going to send you all to the dark space. Earth and Asgard will be my, Loki's, territory alone. Lin Nan had just teleported to New York. Then I saw huge amounts of black vortex above my head. How is this going? Aren't they the Chitauri as promised? Why are they dark forces again? Because teacher Lan Chi temporarily had to give him extra lessons and teach him healing magic. Therefore, he and Chinhu Shangyi were the second batch to be transported to New York. As soon as they left the entrance of the New York temple, they noticed something was wrong. Why are there dark creatures everywhere? Fortunately, Lin Nan and Chinhu Shangyi are not ordinary people. Lin Nan waved his hand, and the space blade circled around him. Hellhounds, two-headed snakes, pig-headed men, etc. were all cut in half. Then it turned into a burst of black smoke, and I don't know whether it was destroyed or returned to the dark space. Chido Kumaichi launches kunai from a distance, and katana slashes at close range. Most dark creatures are not his enemies. After all, in addition to being a mage, he is also a top-notch ninja. The current kunai is a magic weapon that can be constructed once and fired and recycled countless times. The same goes for katana. No matter how many people she cuts, she won't curl her blade. Unless the opponent's defense strength far exceeds his attack power. After 3 strikes, 5 strikes and 2 strikes, they cleared the surrounding area. Despite this, Chinhu Shangyi was still panting from exhaustion. He looked at Lin Nan's happy and contented look and was very envious. Hey, it would be great if I could also use the space blade. I wouldn't be so tired. Although he can also use the space blade, he is not proficient enough. If you launch it, you might cut yourself and your companions in half. After getting rid of a few miscellaneous fish, they looked around and found that most of the Chitauri had been dragged into the mirror space by the previous batch of Kamar-Taj mages. In this way, it will not only facilitate battles and targeted elimination, but will not cause harm to New York City, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. There will be a certain degree of bonus when you cast magic in your own mirror space, which is relatively safer and more labor-saving. The Chitauri don't know how to portal, so they can only fight in the mirror space. If Kamar-Taj's mages can't be beaten, they can open a portal to come out, and then find stronger mages to go in and deal with them, or find more mages for a fair battle between many and one. Although there was some chaos, in most cases, Kamar-Taj still had a huge advantage against the Chitauri soldiers. The exception is that the firepower of some Chitauri regiments is so fierce that mages cannot gain any advantage even in the mirror space. But there is nothing that can be done about it. After all, as a civilization capable of interplanetary navigation, Chitauri's technological firepower far exceeds that of Earth. Just when Lin Nan thought that most of the people he would face in the future would be dark forces, he suddenly saw a very familiar figure from his previous life, Loki. This troublemaker and unlucky guy hasn't been punished enough yet. Chido Kumaichi doesn't know him, but he knows Thor, Hulk and other Avengers superheroes in front of him. For a time, he was very excited. Look, Lin Nan, that's Thor's stooge. A true god. Ah, Thor's hammer, he activated it, who is that tall and thin person? The man behind the scenes. But it doesn't matter, this hammer of Thor must. Then he saw Thor's hammer being conquered by Loki. What happened? The invincible Thor's hammer is held by a black tentacle. Black, could it be that he is Dormammu, the Lord of Darkness? Chinhu Shangyi was shocked. As Kamar-Taj's rival for many years, he still doesn't know what Dormammu looks like. Now he is a junior mage. He originally just wanted to fight aliens and save the Earth. Why did we encounter this super boss that even the Ancient One mage couldn't solve? For a moment, Chinhu Shang's legs felt a little weak. Lin Nan, is this Dormammu? How about we run away quickly? Huh? He said tremblingly. I was afraid that Loki would hear me if I made a louder sound. This is not Dormammu. This is Loki, the god of trickery. Lin Nan's voice came. When Chinhu Shang heard the first half of the sentence, he felt relieved. Fortunately, it was not Dormammu. Hear the second part of the sentence, god of trickery. God, he wondered. Right, are they real gods? He is a god, a serious god, but he is very weak. He can catch Thor's hammer. Do you think he is weak? Qinhu Shangyi couldn't believe his ears. Is this human speech? Tuer is one of the most powerful gods in real life. This Loki summoned a black tentacle and easily caught Thor's hammer. Are you saying he is weak? Who believes it? He borrowed the power of Dormammu. Lin Nan detected the black tentacles and confirmed. So, this is Loki, the god of trickery, and Dormammu joining forces. Qinhu Shangyi asked. Yes, then why don't we run quickly? Qinhu Shangyi looked at Lin Nan's indifferent expression, and felt 100,000 ants crawling in his heart. Brother, what's the matter with you? With the combination of a god and the Lord of Darkness, what are we two junior mages doing here to join in the fun? Why don't you run away and wait to give them 2 extra meals? We are just here to support, we are not going to risk our lives, right? It doesn't matter, I can block the connection between him and Dormammu. Lin Nan waved his finger. Qinhu Shangyi vaguely felt a magic wave. What is that? He asked. A little variation on space magic. Borrowing the magic runes of the space blade, I made a temporary space isolation channel that can prevent Loki from borrowing Dormammu's dark magic energy. Lin Nan explained. Qinhu Shang was numb. The space is isolated from the passage. The connection between a god and the Lord of Darkness, Dormammu, is still isolated. Can't you use an exaggerated tone to match my mood? It's so bland, it makes me, a junior mage, feel like I can release it easily. Hey, something seems wrong. Lin Nan, are you also a junior mage? You created this magic, right? So, it should be considered primary magic, right? How can we block the transmission of power between 2 gods? Why are you putting it aside to make trouble? Qinhu Shangyi exhaled a big breath. Calm down. Calm down. At this time, Loki also noticed the 2 of them. Humph, 2 ants. Still looking there, you must have seen the embarrassment I made just now. I may not be able to erase the people who reunited for the time being. You 2, just say goodbye to this world. So, as he thought, a bolt of black lightning struck at the location of Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyi. Danger, get out of the way. Thor's reaction speed was already very fast, and he immediately threw Thor's hammer to block the lightning. Eagle Eye's vision is very good. It's a pity, it seems that there are 2 Kamar-Taj mages who came to support. I can only watch them die. I am sorry, he thought to himself. But things are always unexpected. The black lightning disappeared just as it was about to hit Lin Nan and the 2 of them. Upon seeing this, Thor recalled Thor's hammer. How is this going? 2 vortexes of black and white appeared on Lin Nan's head. Wuji Chaos Ball. Qinhu Shangyi shouted in surprise as he was about to pee. After all, this is a magic attack from a god. Although Lin Nan is strong, he is not strong enough to face the gods directly, right? He didn't believe it before either. However, the Wuji Chaos Ball appeared and directly eliminated Loki's black lightning. Qinhu Shangyi, who has seen this ball, knows that Lin Nan really did it. He faced an attack from a god. Is this really a junior mage? Qinhu Shangyi was very skeptical. Hulk and Hawkeye don't know what's going on. They could only judge from their clothes that Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyi were the magicians of Kamar-Taj. The one who attacked them was Loki, a serious god. Moreover, Loki seems to have borrowed the black magic energy of the Dark Lord Dormammu. The person who can catch this attack is probably on the same level as the Ancient One Mage, Doctor Strange, and Casas, right? They didn't know Casas was dead yet. These 2 people are obviously very young, and they are not any of the 3 mages. Has Kamar-Taj released a new powerful mage? Why haven't you heard of it? The nurse was also very surprised. He is very aware of Loki's magical strength. Mainly because of their mother, Queen Frigga, the wife of the Nordic god Odin, and the present of the Nordic god of darkness and light. The magic power is very powerful, and he can master both black and white magic. It can be said that she is the first person in Asgard magic. As her son, Loki's magical talent is very outstanding, far better than Thor's. Therefore, Frigga imparted all her magic to him. Loki's magical power ranks among the top 3 in Asgard. Now, with the blessing of Dormammu's dark power, he will only become stronger. Even if I fight with him now, my winning rate is less than 30%. However, the junior mage from Kamar-Taj actually defused Loki's attack. Thor couldn't believe his eyes. This must be an illusion. Meanwhile, Stark wakes up. Detecting energy that far exceeds the defense power of steel armor, please evacuate the battlefield as soon as possible. Please evacuate the battlefield as soon as possible. Jarvis's voice sounded over Stark's communicator. Others heard it at the same time. What happened? Far beyond the energy in steel armor defense. Are you talking about Loki? Loki and Dormammu's strength is indeed so strong. But as members of the Avengers, saving the Earth is their mission. At this time, you must not back down. Captain America, Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Stark, etc. are all determined to die. Those two junior mages from Kamar-Taj, what a pity. Being able to withstand Loki's random bolt of lightning shows that their strength and talent are remarkable. In the future, he will definitely become a presence comparable to the Ancient One Mage and Doctor Strange. Unexpectedly, I will die here today. However, you died for the Earth. People of the Earth, the Avengers will remember you forever. Loki, come to us if you have the guts. Don't embarrass other unrelated people. Stark shouted. That's right, bullying children is nothing. Hulk also discovered Lin Nan and Chinhu Shangyi, who seemed to be at the center of the battlefield. Very fast. You two, if you can teleport, activate it quickly and walk as far as you want. Tuor felt a little regretful. He thought that Lin Nan and Chinhu Shangyi should be the leaders of the new generation of Kamar-Taj. It's not worth dying here like this. What a pity that Loki would join forces with Dormammu. Who would have thought of this? Kid, ha ha ha, Loki cried wildly. If it weren't for these two children, you would have been killed by me. After hearing this, everyone in Fulian looked at each other. What, did you hear wrongly? Loki meant that these two junior mages of Kamar-Taj saved him. They looked at the two black and white vortices, which were now integrating and seemed to be forming a sphere. That's a chaos ball. Are you Cassius's disciples? Tuor knew some magic, searched his memory, and thought that this shape seemed to be somewhat similar to the signature magic of Cassius, the genius mage of Kamar-Taj. Chaos ball. That is more terrifying magic than chaos ball. Loki felt that the dark magic energy given to him by Dormammu seemed to be being continuously intercepted by Lin Nan. As a top magic genius, he naturally felt that the white vortex was the white magic energy from Emperor Weixin. The collision of black and white magical energy is comparable to the collision of matter and antimatter. At that time, everything in the entire space will be annihilated. He could foresee the terrifying power of this magic. Therefore, he decided to run away. The child care provider immediately asked questions. Loki, run away, he shouted. Only then did everyone realize that Loki had disappeared. No, he can't run away, Lin Nan said confidently. Knowing Loki's character very well, he immediately released the mirror space and pulled Loki into it. Because it is his own space, Lin Nan knows everything about the flow of energy. Loki used invisibility and was unable to hide. Hateful. Loki touched the bag on his head and said bitterly. I have entered Kamar-Taj's mirror space countless times. Even the mirror space built by the Ancient One Mage is not as complex and stable as this. Who is this junior mage? Is it difficult to say that he has hidden his true strength? My invisibility is the specialty of my mother, Queen Frigga. A high-end magic that even his father Odin cannot crack. How did he know my location? Immediately afterwards, he began to try to change places, trying to break through Lin Nan's mirror space. As a result, everyone first heard a snap, and then saw Loki appear, like a fly swatted against the wall. This is not the first time Loki has been so embarrassed. He had been slapped flat on the wall and on the ground by Hulk before, and was completely humiliated. Now, a junior mage has replicated this shame and humiliation. His teeth were itching with hatred. If you wait for me to get out, I will kill you. Hey, who was slapped against the wall again? Oh, it turns out to be our Bambi. Stark exaggerated his tone to his heart's content. You piece of iron, wait until I come out to make you look good. Loki uses teleportation, but every time he hits a transparent space wall. He was dizzy, but he could still hear the sounds from the outside world clearly. So there is such a weak god. He really wasn't pretending last time. Hulk made another stab. We can't go on like this. Loki wiped the blood from his mouth. Although he was hit and thrown again and again, as he has the bloodline of giants of Jotunheim, he basically only suffered a little bit of skin damage. The blood at the corner of his mouth was not from internal injuries, but from scratches. This Kamar-Taj master actually made me, a noble god, embarrassed in front of so many people. I must make him look good. Although he has reached an alliance with Dormammu, he mainly wants to borrow the manpower of the Dark Legion. After all, it is difficult for him alone to fight against the righteous force of the entire earth. Before he met Lin Nan, he was very confident in his magic. From his point of view, the Ancient One Mage and Doctor Strange are all just exaggerated. No matter how powerful their magic is, can it be stronger than the gods? Lin Nan completely shattered his confidence. As the god of trickery, his attack magic can only be considered first class, not top-notch. His strongest skills are invisibility, transformation, and psychological warfare for sneak attacks. This perfect mirror space magic completely erased his advantage. After cooperating with Dormammu, I only occasionally tried dark magic energy to play tricks on my opponents. Moreover, he felt that Dormammu's dark magic energy had a tendency to assimilate everything. He suspected that the other party had something fishy hidden inside. Dark magic was not used as the main force in the beginning. This also gave Lin Nan an opportunity. The dark magic energy he borrowed was within the tolerance of Lin Nan, a junior mage. As Asgard's top magic user, the dark magic energy he can withstand is far greater than that of a junior mage. As long as he increases the total amount of borrowed dark magic to exceed that of Lin Nan, he can use his own black magic. Now, Lin Nan made him so embarrassed. He decided to play with a big one. Completely let go of your restrictions on dark magic energy and directly crush Lin Nan with your power. Lin Nan also discovered Bu seconds immediately. He had absorbed the white magic energy of Emperor Weixin and the black magic energy of Dormammu at the same time, and he had almost reached the limit of a junior mage. Although the king had told him before, his upper limit of mental power was far higher than that of an ordinary mage and he could withstand more magical energy. After Loki released his restrictions, a steady stream of black magic energy poured in like sea water. If you continue to absorb it, it will definitely break the balance of the Tai Chi chaos ball and eventually explode in advance. He had no choice but to temporarily close the space channel that intercepted the dark energy from Loki. Loki discovered that black magic energy was pouring into his body continuously. It's like a dry river receiving abundant rainfall. The taste of this power makes him swell. My magic is back. Although this is black magic energy, it belongs to a different system than the Asgard magic he practiced before. But that feeling of rage and power was so wonderful. He was so intoxicated that his eyes were red and glowing. Black smoke billows from behind. In the surrounding space, black lightning appeared frequently. Lin Nan's mirror space has a tendency to fragment. Loki, what's wrong with you? As Loki's brother, Thor noticed his difference immediately. As the god of trickery, Loki is somewhat weird, which is his temperament. But now Loki has an aura of evil and destruction. Don't do anything stupid. Despite the current hostile situation, Tal was concerned about Loki's condition. After all, he is his younger brother. If he really fell into darkness, Tal wouldn't even know how to tell his father Odin. The prince of Asgard betrayed Earth. This is a shame for the entire family and the Nordic gods. At this time, a dark portal of burning flames appeared behind Loki. The ground was instantly roasted black. Then all kinds of fiery demons came out of the portal. You can see with the naked eye that the surrounding air begins to rise. The temperature can be imagined. Loki's previous feverish emotions gradually sobered up under the heat. How is this going? I just seem to have lost my mind. This is not my usual self. The god of trickery, who plays a cold and mysterious character who plays with people's hearts. He looked at his hands, black smoke was coming out, and it was gradually turning into energy. This is influenced by Dormammu. Definitely is. Loki began to panic internally. When I think of Dormammu's dark appearance, I feel a little resistant. He is so suave, dashing and handsome that he can cause a group of women to scream wherever he goes. Never become that ugly. He began to block the transmission of black magic energy. But to no avail. Give it up, little Loki. Melt into me. I will take you to conquer the earth and the universe together. You can still have eternal life. Isn't this much more humiliating than the humiliation you suffered on Earth in Asgard? Stop resisting. Dormammu's bewitching voice echoed in his mind. Loki could feel his body's energy trend getting stronger and stronger. He was a little desperate. At this moment, a green light shot over. Loki thought he was certain to die. But he found that his energy trend was reversing. Who is helping? Loki glanced around, and the ray shot out from a golden portal. Immediately afterwards, a bald mage came out. Ancient One Mage. Everyone was surprised. Finally caught up. The Ancient One Mage's voice was breathless. It turned out that she was fighting Dormammu in the universe hundreds of light years away, because Casas was missing. She thought it was probably Dormammu who did it. Fighting with each other desperately in order to find out the whereabouts of Casas. As a result, Dormammu didn't reply to him even a word. The Ancient One Mage thinks there is something fishy. So she decisively fired a big shot and directly killed Dormammu. Sure enough, the other party was just a phantom that disappeared in an instant. At that moment, she felt something was wrong. After some investigation, it was discovered that a dark portal appeared on the Earth. Dormammu has indeed done something to the Earth. So the Ancient One Mage traveled hundreds of light years across the realm and teleported over with all his strength. It happened that Dormammu wanted to integrate Loki. If it succeeds, the consequences will be disastrous. You know, Loki is a serious god. Still the kind with top-notch magic talent. After integrating, Dormammu can immediately occupy Asgard, and instantly convert all Nordic people into his subordinates. Then conquer the Earth without spending a single soldier on your own. The Ancient One Mage knew he had made the right bet. Unfortunately, traveling hundreds of light years in such a short period of time almost exhausted all her magic power. Using the Time Stone to integrate Loki and Dormammu is also extremely draining of magic power. She looked around and saw that Wong and Modu's auras were not far away. Casas is still missing. Just when he was about to send a message to Wong and Modu, the Ancient One Mage discovered that there were two mages from Kamar-Taj at the scene. It looks like he is new. But the giant black and white swirl above them caught her attention. This seems to be Casas' Chaos Ball. No, judging from the fluctuation of magic energy, it seems to be stronger than Chaos Ball. Is Casas missing for so long just to improve Chaos Ball? Are these two his new disciples? Where is your mentor Casas? The Ancient One Mage did not believe that this powerful magic could be mastered by the two junior mages in front of him. Because this is Casas' unique magic that neither he nor Doctor Strange has mastered. And the current one has been improved and strengthened. Qinhu Shang was very nervous when he saw the Ancient One Mage. The man in front of me is the god of Kamar-Taj. He remembered everything about the Supreme Mage's past. This is his idol. At the same time, he is also the idol of Kamar-Taj and most of the people on Earth who admire the magic blade. In the eyes of them and people like Chito Kumaichi, the Ancient One Mage is the god of magic. Unlike Qinhu Shangyi who was speechless, Lin Nan had no burden at all. Casas just temporarily taught me 2 magic spells, and is not my official mentor. He replied. At first, the Ancient One Mage felt that this junior mage was very calm in this situation. She appreciates it. Although Casas rebelled, the truth of the matter is still unknown. You have learned his magic, and you are somewhat of a mentor. It's somewhat inappropriate to be so eager to clear up the relationship now. Now it seems that it doesn't matter. He probably taught you this improved Chaos Ball. This is his unique magic, so it's not an exaggeration to call him a mentor, right? Lin Nan felt a little dizzy after hearing this. There is no way he can tell the Ancient One Mage that Casas was killed by him, right? Well, Casas seems to have discovered something about dark magic in the library. He decided to reveal some information to the Ancient One Mage. This is the clue you left behind. You can't blame me. The Ancient One Mage heard this and guessed something. After all, she put the forbidden books on dark magic in Kamar-Taj's library with her own hands. With Casas' intelligence, he can definitely guess that he is also secretly practicing dark magic. She was silent for a while. Let's talk about this later. Now let's finish the integration of Loki and Dormammu. My own magic power can't last much longer. Go and inform Wong and Modu to replace me. She ordered Lin Nan. At this moment, a huge amount of laser light shot down from the sky, directly knocking the Ancient One Mage away. The time stone falls aside. It turned out that Dormammu secretly informed Kurita headquarters. Let them help you a little bit. Otherwise, he will have no choice but to withdraw from the Earth and universe. The Kurita people also know that they cannot eat the Earth on their own. The Avengers, Chaoyang and Kamar-Taj's Mage are really difficult to deal with. Before Kamar-Taj's Mages join in, they can also use the human sea tactic to kill the Avengers. The Mages participated in the battle, used the mirror space to drag their troops in, and then carried out magic bombardment. Although it is still possible to use the human sea tactic, but in that case, the loss will be too great and the gain will not be worth the loss. We still have to rely on Dormammu's Dark Army. Most of them are energy bodies. If they die, they can be resurrected and put into the battlefield as long as they have energy. Unless the Dark Portal can be cleared, the Dark Army will flood in like a tide, dragging people to death. And after Dormammu came, the Dark Portal was no longer needed. Transform dark creatures directly on the spot. Therefore, after Dormammu made the request, the Kurita people immediately gathered a large number of troops and used space to jump quickly to the Earth battlefield to carry out supporting attacks. This huge amount of laser cannon was fired from the energy of more than 20 space ships. As soon as the shot entered the soul, the Ancient One Mage was directly knocked away even though he was so powerful. The power is really terrifying. Loki's figure gradually faded, and Dormammu's shadow gradually emerged. Thor remembers staring at him, wondering whether he should throw Thor's hammer in his hand. In the end, he had no choice but to vent his anger on the Chidori who had just arrived. For a moment, there was lightning and thunder in the sky, and Thor's hammer shuttled back and forth among the Chidori like a boomerang. The beating made them miserable. Originally, they thought that with so many people coming, the situation would be overwhelming. As a result, he was treated as a toy hammer. The Chidori felt aggrieved. Hulk, Iron Man and others don't know what happened. All I know is that as soon as the Ancient One Mage appeared and said a few words, he was suddenly blasted away by a giant laser cannon from the Chidori. Thor chased the Chidori like a madman. Thor is just grumpy. Stark sighed, and as he spoke, a few rays also cleared away the Chidori who were knocked unconscious by Thor. Something seems to have happened to the Supreme Mage. Do you want to go take a look? Hawkeye said to Black Widow Natasha Romanoff. No need, Kamar-Taj's Mage will take care of her. Let's help clean up the Chidori. Black Widow Natasha Romanoff replied. There were too many dark creatures just now, and it was difficult for their mortal bodies to compete with these energy bodies. I have been frustrated for a long time. Now that the Chidori have reappeared, they can finally vent their anger. Although Hulk is not afraid of dark creatures, there is nothing he can do if he is entangled. Lacking magical means, he was unable to cause substantial harm to dark creatures. Therefore, he preferred to face the Chidori. He was like an orangutan who came to the tropical rainforest, and the Chidori spaceships and troops were his playthings. Just jump around, pump your fists, and kick a few times to clean it up. It's so much fun to fight. It was Lin Nan and Qinhu Shangyi who supported the Ancient One Mage in the past. Quick, protect the Time Stone. The Ancient One Mage also wanted to retrieve the object from the air and move the green Time Stone not far away. Too bad she was too weak. Can't move at all. Is it this one? Lin Nan supported the Ancient One Mage with one hand and raised his fingers towards the Time Stone with the other hand. The gem came into his hands. Go find Wong and Modu and leave me alone. Let them use the Time Stone to prevent Loki and Dormammu from integrating. Her voice was very weak. Lin Nan immediately added a healing spell. Hey, your white magic is so pure. The Ancient One Mage felt that his injuries were much better, although he was still unable to control magic. She herself knew how powerful the Chidori's laser cannon was. The protective magic I used was in a weak state, and only my physical body was preserved. The damage inside is truly serious. However, this junior mage raised his hand and healed himself with a healing spell. You know, with her injuries, she estimated that even with the cooperation of Kamar-Taj's masters who are proficient in healing, it would take 10.5 months to recover to this state. Although the Time Stone is neutral in nature, it can be powered by any magical energy. But in recent years, under his own influence, he has become more inclined to white magic. This junior mage's healing magic is so superb, maybe let him try to activate the Time Stone. Thank you very much. Your healing magic is very good. I don't know what your name is yet. The Ancient One Mage asked. My name is Lin Nan, and this is my roommate, Qinhu Shangyi. Lin Nan replied. Qinhu Shangyi was still speechless when he came into close contact with the god of magic in his heart. I see that you are very skilled in white magic. Why don't you try to activate the time stone to prevent Loki and Dormammu from integrating? The Ancient One Mage asked. Qinhu Shangyi didn't hear clearly at first, but he realized later that Master Ancient One was asking Lin Nan to use the time stone. Did you hear it correctly? Time gem. One of the infinite gems, each one is like an artifact. Just now, the Ancient One Mage was asking them to find Wang and Mo Duo to drive the time gem. How come in the blink of an eye, this job fell to Lin Nan? Was Lin Nan's healing technique just now supplemented with ecstasy? Although he knows that Lin Nan is very powerful, he is not powerful enough to control the time stone, right? While he was still shocked, Lin Nan thought for a moment and came back, I'll give it a try. He doesn't look very confident. The result was not unexpected. After Lin Nan lit up the time stone, there was no movement. The Ancient One Mage couldn't tell whether he felt lost or something else. A junior mage is still a junior mage after all, and the total amount of magic energy is still not enough. The same goes for Qinhu Shangyi. Fortunately, Lin Nan is not that idiotic. Just when the Ancient One Mage wanted them to continue looking for Wang and Modu, Lin Nan charged up again. The magical energy in his body gathered rapidly. The Ancient One Mage was a little surprised for a moment, and then noticed that the black and white vortex above their heads was spinning. Is he planning to use the magical energy accumulated in the Chaos Ball to drive the time stone? The power of the Chaos Ball is very clear to the Ancient One Mage. This improved version of Chaos Ball should be more powerful. It's very possible to power the time stone. But, for a junior mage, does he have enough control over magical energy? If you're not careful, this entire area will be in ruins. Lin Nan used the results to tell her that this worry was unnecessary. Loki's figure gradually turned from illusory to real, and Dormammu's shadow slowly dissipated. This energy, Dormammu's body, who was far away in the dark space, was very surprised. The energy now is exactly the same as the energy that destroyed Casas' portal when he wanted to borrow Casas's body to come to Earth. Got you. Turns out to be a junior mage. Although Lin Nan controlled the time stone and expelled him from Loki's body, Dormammu was still very surprised. Because he found the original culprit. I originally thought that he would be a new generation of top mage secretly trained by Kamar-Taj. I didn't expect that he would be a junior mage. Interesting. Junior mages are easier to deal with than archmages. Dormammu is full of confidence in conquering the earth and conquering Kamar-Taj in the future. Ancient One, you baldhead, I'll let you go this round. Next time, when you see me again, I will let you, Kamar-Taj, and the earth repay you 100 times. Dormammu's silent laughter echoed in everyone's minds. It's an amazing feeling. You can't hear his voice, but his image repeats in your mind, and you can feel that he is smiling and very arrogant. After Dormammu retreated to the dark space, Loki finally returned to his physical state. It fell directly from Lin Nan's mirror space to the ground, and a human-shaped pit fell out. The dark portals in the sky are also closing one by one. The dark creatures knew that Dormammu had retreated, scrambling to squeeze into the portal and return to the dark space. For a time, flesh and blood flew everywhere, and screams were everywhere. On the other hand, the Chitauri saw that Dormammu had been defeated. I also started to retreat in my heart. Can't beat it, can't beat it. They also chose a retreat strategy for the time being. The heroes of the Avengers, the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the military, and the police would not agree. Start beating up the drowned dog. Sweep away the previous decadence. Lin Nan saw the dark creatures and Chitauri disperse around him and began to count his harvest. The blocked system information popped up one by one, almost causing Lin Nan to crash temporarily. Your space blade killed 3,586 enemies and increased your training progress by 58%. Your fireball technique killed 6,487 enemies, and the training speed increased by 70%. Your space blade has been upgraded to level 8/9. I am very happy. The training speed has increased by 7%. Your Ring of Ragador feels very guilty because it missed a laser beam from the enemy, and its training speed is increased by 5%. Because your healing technique has not been used for a long time, the practice speed is reduced by 10%. Because you cured the Ancient One Mage, your healing technique has been upgraded 5 levels in a row. It is now at level 6/9, and your practice speed is increased by 10%. Your healing technique has generated spiritual wisdom, and you realize that you have treated the Ancient One Mage, and you have been praised by the Ancient One Mage. Your practice speed increases by 10%. You won't know if you don't look at it, but you will be shocked when you look at it. He actually killed tens of thousands of enemies. Wow, what a butcher. Do you think you are so NB? Why don't I feel anything at all? Throw out a fireball and don't care much about it. System, are you kidding me? Moreover, the improvement of this healing skill seems like a joke. Upgraded to 5 levels at once. Oh, it turns out that the Ancient One Mage was cured. That's okay. Hey, no, the healing technique was level 1 at that time. How did you cure the Ancient One Mage? Tell me clearly. Although the healing technique produced spiritual intelligence, it was only equivalent to that of a child of several years old, and it was impossible to tell. Do things purely based on your own preferences. Therefore, Lin Nan did not get the answer he wanted. Forget it, I finally reached level 6 anyway. When you make a lot of money, you don't care about it. Because of the appreciation of the Ancient One Mage, the speed of all skills and magic training has been increased. Gee, the Ancient One Mage really has his own range of aura. It would be great if the Ancient One Mage could personally teach him magic. Then the speed of cultivation, isn't it going to increase on Misawong? Avengers headquarters. Stark, Captain America, Thor and others gathered together. I am studying the video of that time, because after Loki fell to the ground, he ran away again. It was okay at first, with all kinds of tragedies in New York, and human civilians being hunted down by the Chitauri. Then Fulian, the army, and the police joined forces to evacuate the crowd to surrounding areas. It took 3 days of hard work until the Kamar-Taj wizards arrived. I don't know what these mages are doing. Why are they here so late? After Banner transformed into the Hulk, he couldn't remember most of what happened, so he was the first to complain. Kamar-Taj was entangled by Dormammu, and they went through a lot of trouble to please the Dark Army. Captain America said calmly, so Dormammu first attacked Kamar-Taj, then attacked New York, and still wants to integrate Loki. Banner looked confused. Aren't they always the sworn enemies of Kamar-Taj? Is it any wonder? Black Widow Natasha Romanoff said. This time, Dormammu unites the Chitauri and Loki, which is very strange. Thor said. Moreover, Loki was almost integrated by Dormammu and became his vessel for coming to Earth and the main universe. That's the most dangerous thing. Stark added. Hey, what's going on with this young mage? Hawkeye, who had been silent until now, said in surprise. Aren't they just 2 junior mages from Kamar-Taj? What's so surprising? Banner glanced away and saw Lin Nan and Chinhu Shangyi rescuing New York citizens from the hands of Chitauri soldiers. No, the 2 of them have teamed up to kill tens of thousands of Chitauri soldiers. Hawkeye said calmly. Tens of thousands? Are you kidding? Captain America was very suspicious when he heard what Hawkeye said. Although the AoE ability of magic is very strong, the magic energy of 2 junior mages is also limited, and they cannot cast spells infinitely. How could it be possible to kill tens of thousands of Chitauri soldiers? If the junior mages of Kamar-Taj were like them, fighting against the dark space, they wouldn't have such a difficult time at all. You have to trust my eyesight. While you were talking, I opened 10 screens and browsed the videos of each block at 10 times the speed. Hawkeye said very confidently. To be precise, most of them were accomplished by this very handsome young mage. The other mage who is a bit more wretched and knows ninjutsu is a stronger junior mage. He pointed at Lin Nan in the screen and said, "Let me take a look." The child didn't believe it either. Although his magic is not top-notch in Asgard, in Kamar-Taj, with his divine power, he can be rated as one of the top wizards. He can also kill tens of thousands of Chitauri soldiers. But he will definitely lie down for several days and nights to recuperate. According to what he saw that day, both mages appeared where Loki was. This mage named Lin Nan doesn't just heal the Ancient One. And according to Ancient One, it was this junior mage who finally drove the time stone and prevented Loki from being integrated by Dormammu. Considered the savior of Asgard. But what Hawkeye said was obviously beyond his knowledge. He looked carefully at the scene of Lin Nan killing the Chidori soldiers and was deeply shocked. Is this something a junior mage can do? With a wave of his hand, dozens of fireballs hit the Chidori soldiers directly like homing missiles, killing them instantly with one blow. After killing them, they will circle around to look for other soldiers. When he couldn't find it anymore, he crashed into the Chidori spaceship in the sky, blasting the spaceship full of holes and then shattering to the ground. One spell can cause hundreds of kills. What's even more outrageous is that he can also release a transparent flying blade. Chidori soldiers have this exoskeleton, which has amazing jumping and shooting abilities. Fireballs are relatively obvious. Once discovered, you can basically avoid them, or shoot them to detonate them in advance. The mage named Lin Nan fired this transparent flying blade instead. There was no way for the Chidori soldiers to escape. Most of the time, he even hovered the transparent flying blade directly on the Chidori's ultimate path. When they rush over, cut into slices. So did the Chidori ship. Especially whale ships. It was happily chewing on tall buildings, airplanes and tanks, but after chewing a ball of air, it was broken into pieces. In other words, saying that Lin Nan killed tens of thousands of Chidori is an understatement. The fireball technique can kill hundreds of people, and this transparent flying blade can kill thousands at a time. 10 transparent flying blades can kill tens of thousands. Can a junior mage really do this? Thor was stunned. You know, when he releases a lightning bolt, he can kill more than 100 people with one full blow, which is the upper limit. Stark looked at it and was too shocked to speak. His AoE ability is already very good. Unexpectedly, this mage named Lin Nan is even more BT. It's unfair to call him a human bomb. He should be called a human nuclear bomb. When did Kamar-Taj become such a talented mage? Why didn't you know this before? This talent does a great job of keeping secrets. Junior mage, it's unlikely, right? Banner touched his head. You know, as one of the few participants in this battle from beginning to end. He has saved many junior mages in his hands. Basically, these mages can only do logistics and sneak attacks. In frontal combat, the Chidori's advanced alien technological weapons will teach them how to behave. The ones he rescued were those passionate junior mages, who were all crying and bleeding. They can also be somewhat useful against dark creatures. After all, many of them are white magic, which has a bonus against dark creatures. He came up, watched Lin Nan's video, and fell silent immediately. You call this a junior mage? The fireball technique can be cast as easily as it costs no money, and its lethality is comparable to that of an archmage. Even as far as he knows, the archmage may not have such a record. Banner looked at Lin Nan's magic with envy. Because after he transformed into Hulk, he basically could only rely on hand-to-hand combat. Faced with the human sea tactic, it was also a headache. And mages like Lin Nan are the nemesis of the human sea tactic. Furthermore, according to the Supreme Mage, in addition to requiring a large amount of magical energy to drive, the Time Stone is also very picky about its users. This Lin Nan, as a junior mage, was able to drive the Time Stone smoothly when he saw it for the first time. He could very well be the key to saving the planet. Stark said. No, he is the key to saving the Earth now. We should invite him to join the Avengers. Thor suggested. Inviting a junior mage from Kamar-Taj to join the Avengers would have sounded like a fantasy at other times. But now, after seeing Lin Nan's performance on the battlefield, the Avengers, heroes have no doubts about this. Kamar-Taj, Master Ancient One, Modu, Wong and other great masters discussed together. In the middle, magic similar to a holographic image is used to show the battle with Dormammu and the Chidori. Who is responsible for teaching this junior mage named Lin Nan? Asked the Ancient One mage. First it was Lan Chi, then Hamel and I, and Casas taught some magic in the middle. Wong replied calmly. Ranchi was a little nervous at first. She thought Lin Nan had done something extraordinary and the Ancient One mage was causing trouble. Because Lin Nan did not follow the instructions of his instructor to do the logistics work like other junior mages. Instead, he dragged Qin Hushangyi to the battlefield. These two ones, with their own magical talents, why are they so careless? Dark creatures are okay. After all, most of Kamar-Taj's spells are white magic, and there is a damage bonus against them. But the Chiritans are different. Advanced technology and extremely strong defense. It is definitely impossible for a junior mage to break through their defense. Coupled with the large number of people, a small team usually swarms them. After all, Kamar-Taj is just a small mage camp. The number of people is simply incomparable to others. Only mid-level mages and archmages, possessing super large-scale destructive magic, are the main combat power against the Chitauri. After watching it for a while, she was completely speechless. It can be said that Chinhu Shangyi is just a junior mage who is a bit insignificant and can approach ninjutsu to an intermediate mage. The overall performance was within her expectations. As for Lin Nan, she couldn't understand it at all. Fireball, even if this elementary magic reaches level 9, it is still a stronger bomb. The fireball technique Lin Nan unleashed was comparable to an intercontinental cruise missile. It will still turn after being shot. Is this kid trying to improve magic again? No, this can be regarded as recreating a new magic, right? As a junior tutor for many years, Lan Qi is familiar with the rune arrangement, spells and principles of the junior magic of fireball. It can be said that her understanding of the fireball technique is second to none, and no one in Kamar-Taj dares to claim first. Of course, the Ancient One Mage, Dr. Strange, and Casas, who has rebelled and disappeared without a trace, are not included. These three are all BT and cannot be put together with ordinary mages. Lin Nan's fireball technique has penetration, high battery life, navigation ability, and even a certain degree of intelligence. In Lan Qi's opinion, this is a 4-in-1 compound magic. Although the upper limit of power is not particularly high due to attributes, it is still pretty good. In terms of complexity, it can be called an advanced magic. If it were replaced by something else, such as thunder and lightning attributes, it would be a top-notch magic. Lan Qi couldn't help but be speechless when he thought of this. Oh, Lan Qi, tell me your impression of Lin Nan. After the Ancient One Mage heard Wang's answer, she remembered that Lan Qi was Kamar-Taj's most famous junior mentor. I want to see what she thinks of Lin Nan. Lin Nan, when you first handed him over to me, he actually didn't show any magic talent. In the first 2 months, he couldn't even feel the fluctuations of magic energy, let alone use any elementary magic. But at that time, Harder from New York, the former #1 genius among this class of students, challenged him for some unknown reason. Lin Nan agreed, but set the time in 3 days. On the day of the competition, he awakened his magic talent and directly defeated Hater. Then it got out of hand. I have learned a lot of elementary magic and improved it. The most famous one is the Bagua magic shield that integrates ancient Chinese theory. The magic talent is very amazing. Feeling the pressure, I feel that he should receive higher level teaching. Therefore he was recommended to the king. Lan Qi looked back on his teachings to Lin Nan and couldn't help but sigh. If it weren't for her own limited strength, she would definitely continue teaching. After all, the reward for teaching a magic genius is also very generous. Well, it seems to be just an ordinary awakening of magic talent. The Ancient One Mage listened and thought for a while, then, why did he postpone the date of the challenge by 3 days? Is it because he feels that his magic talent will be awakened in 3 days? Moreover, he is so confident that after awakening, he will be able to defeat Harder, the #1 genius at the time. The Ancient One Mage's question got others thinking. I think it's very possible. Wang thought for a moment and replied. Oh, tell me your reasons. The Ancient One Mage said with great interest. Lin Nan is from China and has a deep understanding of traditional culture. Especially Taoist theories such as yin-yang, 5 elements and Bagua. Wang said. Lan Qi also agreed and nodded. Ancient One had seen Lin Nan's black and white chaos ball, and later knew that it was Tai Chi. She motioned for Wang to continue. The main purpose of Taoist Bagua is divination. Many experts who are good at this have the ability to do it on a whim. Being able to partially predict the future. Although it is not as good as the time stone, it is still relatively accurate for a certain person's life. Lin Nan is good at this. It's not surprising that he can predict or sense the date of his awakening. As for whether he can defeat Hater, that's not important. If you can beat it, you can beat it. If you can't beat it, it doesn't matter. It's just a simple competition. Everyone thought about what Wang said for a while and agreed. Lin Nan's improved magic is indeed based on Chinese Taoist thought. Being able to integrate two theoretical systems that the world thinks are completely different fully demonstrates his ability and talent. You know, it's pretty good if the average person can master a system. In terms of Taoist thought, no one can compare with Lin Nan. Then what happened to Casas? The Ancient One Mage asked again. At that time, Hamel and I were teaching Lin Nan some advanced magic, and Casas suddenly broke in. I forced Lin Nan to take a test, and I still want to accept him as a disciple. But after Lin Nan passed his assessment quickly, he left without knowing what happened to Casas. I heard the news about Casas again. He killed the librarian and rebelled. After finishing speaking, Wang was actually quite confused. Why did Casas suddenly return to Kamar-Taj? How did he know about Lin Nan? And why did he leave? Especially the first question, he really wanted to ask the Ancient One Mage. Under normal circumstances, only when a tacit understanding of a truce is temporarily formed with the dark space, or if a mage is seriously injured and needs to be nursed back to health, will a mage withdraw from the front line to Kamar-Taj. When Casas came back this time, the fighting ahead was tense, but he was not injured, which everyone felt was strange. The Ancient One Mage also knew what everyone was thinking, and she said, Casas noticed that I practiced dark magic and used black magic energy. But he was not sure, so he returned to Kamar-Taj. As soon as the news came out, everyone was shocked. Although the books on dark magic in the forbidden books in the Kamar-Taj library were all placed by the Ancient One Mage himself. But where these books came from, no one has carefully traced them. After all, the Ancient One Mage has been fighting against the dark space all year round and has seized several related books. It is only natural. But now, she admitted to practicing dark magic, which shocked everyone. Why? Modu asked in disbelief when he heard the news. Because I need black magic energy to continue my life. And I have a special way to control myself from being eroded by dark magic energy and from being assimilated by Dormammu. The Ancient One Mage replied. Everyone knows that Dormammu will erode the mages who practice black magic in this universe. The Ancient One Mage has practiced black magic, but he can resist assimilation. Although it is a bit shocking, since nothing has happened for so many years, it means that what the Ancient One Mage said is true. It's just that I feel a little uncomfortable in my heart. After all, they have been bitter enemies for so many years. After a long silence, Wang asked, then why did Casas betray Kamar-Taj? One is because I deceived him. The Ancient One Mage said with helplessness in his tone, the dormitory that resists black magic energy and Dormammu's integrate rely on my own magical talent. Sorry, I can't teach you this, I couldn't teach Casas, so I hid it from you. The other is because he has the obsession to resurrect his wife and children. This is the main reason why he came to Kamar-Taj. To this end, he recruited a lot of geniuses to help him do relevant research. One of the reasons for meeting Kamar-Taj this time is that I found signs of practicing black magic, but you couldn't ask me, so I came to Kamar-Taj's library to look for evidence. The other one probably heard about Lin Nan and other magic geniuses and wanted to recruit people. However, I met an inflexible administrator in the magic library. Because he discovered my secret, it was a double blow. In anger, he killed me. I should bear the main responsibility for his rebellion. I apologize to everyone. The Ancient One Mage bowed. At this time, everyone was completely speechless. Originally, this was a simple battlefield review and experience review. As a result, such a big melon was dug out. For a time, no one knew what to do. This is all a choice of fate. Modu sighed. Yes, indeed. Wang and Hamel had nothing to say, so they could only nod in agreement. Lan Chi and other great mage were silent. After all, this impact is too great, and they need to digest it. Okay, let's get back to Lin Nan's discussion. I mainly want to confirm whether he might be Dormammu's chess piece. After all, when he trapped Loki, he intercepted Dormammu's black magic energy. This is not something that ordinary mages can do. I think even among the great mages here, not many can do it. The Ancient One Mage scanned the audience. As the leader of Kamar-Taj, this majesty and respect are achieved through strength. Although she admitted the fact of practicing black magic, she has not been assimilated by Dormammu for so many years, which further illustrates her strength. Most of the people present also believed that it was very doubtful that Lin Nan, as a junior mage with an emerging talent, could control such a huge amount of black magic energy. I may have a little say in this, Wang said. Qinhu Shangyi and Hater were both magic geniuses like Lin Nan before this. After mastering some advanced magic, they were all successfully promoted to junior mages. But Lin Nan didn't. After listening to Wang's words, Lan Qi and others felt a little incredible. Especially Lan Qi, as the ace figure of junior tutor, she has taught countless mage apprentices and junior mage. I have never seen a mage like Lin Nan who stayed in the mage apprenticeship stage for a long time after learning advanced magic. Yes, never seen that. You know, she has taught tens of thousands of apprentices and junior mages. After she handed Lin Nan over to Wang Tutor, she wasn't particularly clear about Lin Nan's news. Now, I have just learned that Lin Nan has stayed in the apprenticeship stage for a long time. Based on her experience, her first reaction is that it is impossible, absolutely impossible. She swore in the name of her archmage. Isn't this possible? This is absolutely impossible, she exclaimed. Other master methods also echoed. We know that the upper limit of mental power actually determines the upper limit of the magic energy used by the mage. But everyone's upper limit is different. You can become a junior mage only after breaking through the upper limit for the first time. After observing Lin Nan for a long time, I believe that the upper limit of spiritual power of Master Lin Nan's apprentice is the upper limit of ordinary junior mage or even close to the lower limit of intermediate mage. The king's words were like a bomb, detonating all the archmages. This is impossible. Many great mages expressed disbelief. Nothing is impossible. Modu replayed the scene where Lin Nan released the fireball technique. Judging from the fluctuation of magic energy and the actual damage caused, Lin Nan's fireball technique far exceeds the ordinary 9th level fireball technique. And, for him, it's basically unlimited release. This fully shows that his mental power is powerful, and the upper limit of magical energy he can use is far beyond that of ordinary mages. After that, he also released many junior, middle and advanced magics such as Mirror Space, Space Blade, Chaos Ball, Bagua Magic Shield and so on. In the end, even just by himself, the magical energy summoned by a junior mage was able to drive the Time Stone. Look, he doesn't even show any signs of fatigue. Modu pointed at Lin Nan who looked relaxed on the screen and said. This proves that his strength far exceeds that of ordinary mages. Yes, in fact, I think the reason why Dormammu is able to assimilate people who use black magic. One of the important reasons is that he provides too much black magic energy. When it is below the upper limit, ordinary mages can still avoid erosion and assimilation. And Lin Nan's upper limit is so high, this is the main reason why he is not assimilated. Wang expressed his conclusion. Lin Nan is an ordinary college student living in New York City. There is nothing special about him, he is just an ordinary human being who goes to class and works every day and leads an ordinary life. However, an accident changed his fate. One night, when Lin Nan was walking home, he was suddenly attacked by a group of gunmen. In the chaos, he drew infinite power from nowhere and successfully defused the gangsters' attacks and allowed them to escape. This scene happened so fast that Lin Nan himself didn't know what happened. From that day on, Lin Nan realized that he had extraordinary power. He didn't know the source of this power, nor how to control it, but he decided to use this power to help others. He transformed into a superhero, used his ability to protect the residents of New York City, and became the guardian of the city. However, Lin Nan soon discovered that he was not the only one with super abilities. In the Marvel Universe, various superheroes and villains emerge endlessly. He encountered many powerful opponents, some for justice and some for evil. But Lin Nan did not back down. On the contrary, he continued to challenge himself, worked hard to grow, and became an increasingly powerful hero. During his journey, Lin Nan met many like-minded friends, including Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, etc. They fight side by side to resist various threats and defend the peace of the earth. However, Lin Nan also experienced many hardships and challenges. Not only does he have to face powerful enemies, he also has to face his own inner fears and struggles. He constantly thinks about his mission and responsibility, and strives to find his true belonging and meaning. In the Marvel Universe, many confrontations between heroes and villains are constantly taking place, but Lin Nan, as an ordinary human being, has an extraordinary destiny. Since that night, Lin Nan accidentally discovered his super ability, and his life completely changed. He is no longer an ordinary college student, but a superhero in New York City, who often appears on the streets of the city. In battle after battle, Lin Nan mastered his power more and more skillfully. His fists could break steel, and his steps could travel through time and space. However, he still had many questions in his heart. He didn't know where his power came from, nor what his mission was. At this moment, Lin Nan heard about a genius scientist named Wawa. Wawa is a member of the Avengers. She has become the focus of everyone's attention with her extraordinary wisdom and Superman's technology. It is said that Wawa is working on a method to travel through time, which she believes will be the key to saving the universe. Lin Nan decided to go to Wawa and seek her help and guidance. He came to Wawa's laboratory and met this legendary genius scientist. In the laboratory, Wawa was standing in front of a complex device, holding a thick notebook in his hand, studying something intently. "Are you Wawa?" Lin Nan walked up and asked. Wawa raised her head and smiled. "Yes, I am Wawa." "You are Lin Nan, I guess. I have heard about your deeds." Lin Nan nodded. "Yes, I came to you because I need your help. I have some questions that I hope you can answer." Wawa put down the notebook in her hand and walked to Lin Nan. "Tell me, what's your problem?" Lin Nan pondered for a moment, and then said, "I don't know where my power comes from, nor what my mission is. I hope to find a way to explore my heart and find the path that truly belongs to me." Quote. Wawa listened quietly, then smiled slightly. "I understand, you want to find your true mission. I can help you, but I need to do some special experiments." Lin Nan nodded in agreement. As a result, Wawa began a series of experiments to explore the secrets deep in Lin Nan's heart through technological means. During the experiment, Lin Nan experienced many fantastic scenes. He traveled through time and space, witnessed his past and future, and experienced various tests and challenges. In all this, he gradually realized the source of his power and mission. At the same time, the Marvel Universe is also facing an unprecedented crisis. A powerful villain appears and attempts to destroy the entire universe, while the heroes of the Avengers are fighting to protect the universe. Wawa and Lin Nan finally completed their last experiment, and they made a surprising discovery. Lin Nan's strength does not come from the outside world, but from his inner belief and determination. His mission is not given by others, but determined by himself. Now, he has found his own path, and he will use his own power to defend the peace of the universe. "Thank you, Wawa." Lin Nan bowed deeply to Wawa. "I finally understand that my mission is to protect the peace of the universe." Wawa smiled and nodded. "You're welcome, Lin Nan. I believe you will become an excellent hero and go save the universe." With Lin Nan's decision and Wawa's help, a feat spanning time and space officially begins. The heroes of the Avengers gathered together, including Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, etc. Their goal is to collect the Infinity Stones to deal with the coming cosmic crisis. The device that travels through time is placed in the center of the laboratory, exuding a charming light. Wawa and Lin Nan stood aside, paying close attention to everything. "This device can travel through time, but you must use it with caution," Wawa reminded. "Once the timeline is distorted, the consequences will be disastrous." Lin Nan nodded, indicating that he understood. They began to make preparations and entered the vortex of time together. During the journey, they witnessed many shocking scenes. They came to the ancient civilization era and witnessed endless wars in the vast universe. They traveled through the long river of history and came to various eras to collect fragments of infinite stones. Every time they cross is a test, but they always persist and keep moving forward. In their adventures, they met many partners, including ancient warriors, future scientists and intelligent alien creatures. They worked together to overcome many difficulties and collect the fragments of the gem. However, as time goes by, they also face increasing challenges. Some villains noticed their actions and tried to stop their plans. During a time travel, they encountered an army composed of villains. The leader of the army is a powerful being named the Lord of Darkness, and their goal is to seize the Infinity Stones to realize their ambitions. "We have to stop them," Captain America shouted. The heroes of the Avengers acted quickly and launched a fierce battle. Iron Man and Spider-Man had a fierce confrontation in the air, Thor wielded his hammer, and the Hulk transformed into a violent behemoth, fighting to the death with the enemy. Lin Nan showed his unparalleled strength. His fists could shatter mountains. His figure was like lightning, speeding across the battlefield. After a fierce battle, the heroes of the Avengers finally won. They successfully repelled the villain's army and protected the fragments of the Infinity Stones. We can't stop, Black Widow reminded, there are still many tasks waiting for us. Lin Nan was originally a member of the team working to save the universe, but the dark power gradually surging in his heart made him start a destructive plan. In the process of collecting the Infinity Stones, he gradually became aware of the dark energy hidden in himself. This energy originated from the fear and anger in his heart. As time went by, this dark force became more and more powerful, making him gradually lose his mind. During an experiment to travel through time and space, Lin Nan was completely controlled by the dark force. He became callous and ruthless, with only the desire for destruction remaining. He decided to use the infinite stones in his hands to conquer the entire universe and bring everything under his control. He began a plan to invade Earth, gathering an army influenced by dark forces. Their goal is to destroy anything that stands in the way of their existence, including other superheroes and villains. The heroes of the Avengers realized Lin Nan's conspiracy, and they immediately launched a counterattack. However, what they face is no longer a guardian of justice, but an evil man driven by dark forces. In a fierce battle, Lin Nan showed his amazing power. His abilities are nearly unmatched, and his army is overwhelming, marching forward to destroy everything. The heroes of the Avengers are in an unprecedented dilemma. The unity and trust between them began to be tested, and some even began to doubt their mission and beliefs. In a decisive battle, Lin Nan almost destroyed the entire New York City. His power is almost unstoppable, and his dark energy sweeps in, making everything hopeless. However, at the critical moment, the heroes of the Avengers worked together and showed their true power. They are no longer isolated individuals, but a united whole. Their faith and courage allow them to overcome their inner fears and struggles. In the end, Lin Nan's invasion plan ended in failure. His dark power was completely defeated, his army was completely defeated, and he himself was defeated and imprisoned in an inescapable cage. Lin Nan was imprisoned in a specially made prison, and his power was restrained by a special energy field, making it impossible for him to escape. The dark energy in him became stronger and stronger, and his mind was gradually shrouded in darkness. The heroes of the Avengers know that they cannot let Lin Nan continue to threaten the safety of the Earth. So, they decided to take action to imprison him completely to prevent him from causing greater harm. In a secret operation, the heroes of the Avengers assembled a task force composed of the most powerful members. Their goal was to take Lin Nan back to prison and completely deprive him of his freedom. We must be careful and not give Lin Nan any room to react. Captain America said to the team members, his power is far beyond our imagination, and we must remain vigilant. The team members nodded to express their understanding and began to take action. They sneaked into the core area of the prison, bypassed various security facilities, and quietly approached Lin Nan's place of imprisonment. When they came to Lin Nan's cell door, they found that the door was covered with defense facilities, apparently to prevent Lin Nan from escaping. What should we do? Black Widow asked. We have no choice but to go in. Iron Man said, we cannot let Lin Nan continue to threaten the security of the Earth. So, they decided to venture into Lin Nan's cell and take him back to prison. When they opened the cell door, a powerful dark energy rushed towards them, making them almost unable to breathe. Lin Nan stood deep in the cell, exuding a frightening dark light, as if he was a demon swallowed by darkness. What do you want to do when you come to me? Lin Nan asked coldly, his voice full of majesty and ridicule. We have to take you back to prison to prevent you from continuing to harm the Earth. Captain America said firmly. HMPH, do you think you can stop me? Lin Nan sneered, my power has exceeded your imagination, you can't stop me at all. The heroes of the Avengers are not afraid. They unite and show their most powerful strength. Iron Man released an energy beam and tried to restrain Lin Nan, while the Hulk transformed into a giant beast and launched a fierce hand-to-hand battle. At the same time, Black Widow and Spider-Man used their agility to try to subdue Lin Nan. However, Lin Nan's power is still far beyond their imagination. He broke free and fought back against the Avengers, heroes, putting them in danger. After a fierce battle, the heroes of the Avengers finally succeeded in subduing Lin Nan and took him back to prison. They know that this is only a temporary victory and that the power of darkness will never disappear. They must remain vigilant and always be ready to face new challenges. Deep in the Avengers building, Iron Man walked quietly through the corridors. He knows his actions may be noticed by other Avengers members, but he is determined to complete this mission. His goal is to steal the Tesseract, an artifact capable of harnessing the power of the universe and which he believes could hold the key to future crises. Iron Man, wearing a high-tech armor, easily passed through the blind spot of the surveillance and came to the room where the Tesseract was. The atmosphere in the room was quiet, with only weak light coming through the window. He quietly opened the door and entered the room. The Tesseract is placed in a special container and emits a faint light. Iron Man approached it, staring closely at this mysterious object. It seems everything is going well, he whispered to himself. However, at this moment, a voice suddenly sounded, "Tony, what are you doing?" Iron Man turned around and saw Captain America standing at the door, with a serious expression on his face. Iron Man was stunned for a moment, but quickly regained his composure. "Steve, why are you here? I thought you were patrolling outside." "I heard something moving and came over to take a look," Captain America said, "but I didn't expect to see you here." Iron Man's heart moved. He knew that he had been discovered, but he did not intend to give up easily. "I'm just here to take a look at the Tesseract and check its security," he tried to explain. "We can't let it fall into the wrong hands." Captain America was silent for a while, then slowly approached Iron Man. "Tony, you shouldn't act alone. We are a team and should discuss together." Iron Man remained silent. He knew Captain America was right, but the trouble in his heart made him unable to calm down. At this moment, a piercing alarm sounded suddenly, and the lights in the room flickered. Iron Man and Captain America immediately realized something was wrong. Someone broke into the Avengers Tower. Captain America shouted. The two immediately took action, and they decided to cooperate to stop the intruders' attack. In the corridor, they saw several armed men walking in their direction. These elements wore black uniforms and were armed with advanced weapons. They were obviously trained elite troops. "We have to stop them," Captain America shouted. Iron Man nodded. He equipped the energy cannon and prepared to face the enemy's attack. A fierce battle began, with Iron Man and Captain America joining forces to fight against the militants. Their tacit cooperation and mutual trust allow them to effectively resist the enemy's attack. In the fierce line of fire, they constantly dodge enemy bullets while protecting the Tesseract from any harm. Their combat skills and extraordinary abilities gave them the upper hand, gradually suppressing the enemy's offensive. However, the number of enemies far exceeds their imagination, and their weapons are becoming more and more advanced. As Iron Man and Captain America fall into increasingly dangerous situations, they have to do whatever they can to protect themselves and the Tesseract. In the Avengers building, Iron Man and Captain America had a thrilling showdown with militants. Powerful energy weapons arced across the room, and explosions and gunshots intertwined, pushing the atmosphere of the entire building to a tense climax. Iron Man's armor shimmers with metallic luster, and he nimbly dodges enemy attacks while always remaining vigilant against the Tesseract. His eyes shone with determination as he determined to protect this vital item. "Tony, we have to catch them." Captain America's voice was full of determination. He waved the shield in his hand and moved forward bravely. Iron Man nodded, and they cooperated tacitly, cooperating with each other and forcing the militants into the corner. However, the enemies are not easy to deal with. Their fighting skills and equipment are quite good, leaving Iron Man and Captain America in a passive situation. At this moment, a dark energy suddenly emerged, shrouding the entire room in darkness. Iron Man and Captain America suddenly felt huge amounts of pressure, and their movements became sluggish. "What's going on?" Iron Man asked in surprise. "This energy." Captain America's voice was filled with fear. "It comes from Lin Nan." Sure enough, Lin Nan's dark power appeared in the Avengers building again, his figure flickering in the darkness like a ghost. His eyes were cold and gloomy, as if they could swallow up all life. "You have failed," Lin Nan's voice was low and hoarse. Now, it's time for me to take control of everything. Iron Man and Captain America faced Lin Nan, their hearts filled with struggle and uneasiness. Lin Nan's dark power cannot be easily dealt with, and they must do their best to resist his attack. In the chaotic battle, Iron Man and Captain America launched a fierce confrontation with Lin Nan. Their energy weapons intertwined with Lin Nan's dark energy, cutting through the darkness of the room. In collisions again and again, Iron Man and Captain America felt Lin Nan's powerful power. They were constantly seriously injured, but they still did not flinch and resolutely resisted the invasion of darkness. The battle entered a fierce stage, and the room was filled with smoke and flames. Iron Man and Captain America's armors have been severely damaged, and their bodies are covered with scars, but they still persist, unwilling to succumb to the darkness. At the critical moment, a dazzling light suddenly flashed out and illuminated the entire room. A familiar figure appeared at the door, his eyes shining with hope. Spider-Man! Iron Man shouted in surprise. Spider-Man rushed into the room with lightning speed, his figure was nimble and swift. He accurately grasped Lin Nan's weakness and launched the final decisive battle with Iron Man and Captain America. With the combined efforts of the three, Lin Nan was finally defeated and his dark power was completely destroyed. He could no longer cause any harm, and peace returned to the Avengers Tower. In the chaotic battle, Lin Nan found a glimmer of opportunity. During the breaks between the Avengers, heroes and militants, he flexibly moved between the battlefields, dodging bullets and energy attacks. The Tesseract was placed aside, emitting a faint light. Lin Nan's eyes fell on it, and a strong desire surged into his heart. He knew that if he could get the Tesseract, he could control everything and become the master of the universe. During an explosion, Lin Nan took advantage of the chaos and quickly rushed towards the Tesseract. His fingers touched it, and a powerful energy surged into his body, making him feel an unprecedented strength. "It's time to leave now," Lin Nan sneered. He held the Tesseract tightly and disappeared into the battlefield like lightning. The heroes of the Avengers discovered Lin Nan's departure and chased him angrily. However, Lin Nan had disappeared from their sight, leaving only the remains of the battlefield and a sad atmosphere. He got the Tesseract. Iron Man's voice was full of helplessness. "We must find him as soon as possible and stop his plan. But now that he has the Tesseract, how are we going to fight him?" Captain America frowned. They all knew that Lin Nan's power had become immeasurable, and they had to find a way to stop him. In the Avengers building, a tense atmosphere enveloped everyone. They know that Lin Nan's departure means that a more difficult battle is waiting for them, and they must unite to fight this threat from darkness. Iron Man and Captain America began to plan their next move. They decided to gather the heroes of the Avengers to jointly find Lin Nan's whereabouts and stop his evil plan. In the desert, the forces of darkness and justice intertwined, launching a life and death battle. The wind and sand howled, the ground trembled, and the sky flashed with strong energy fluctuations. The battle between Lin Nan and the Lord of the Desert has entered a fierce stage. They continue to release powerful energy in an attempt to completely defeat the other party. Lin Nan stood on a towering sand dune in the desert, staring around, as if looking forward to his future rule. "I am Lin Nan, the Lord of Darkness." His voice echoed throughout the desert. "I possess the power of Tesseract, and I will rule everything and make the entire universe surrender under my feet." His voice was full of arrogance and confidence. He believed that he was invincible and that no one could stop his rule. "You insignificant creatures will be my slaves." Lin Nan continued to preach loudly. "No one or anything can stop me from becoming the master of the universe." His words were full of majesty and threat, and his eyes were cold and ruthless. He stood there as if he were a god descending into the mortal world, commanding the fate of the entire world. However, at this moment, a crisp sound suddenly sounded, breaking the silence of the desert. "Who do you think you are?" Lin Nan turned his eyes to the source of the sound and saw a young woman standing not far away. Her eyes were firm and clear, looking directly at Lin Nan without fear. "Who are you? How dare you speak to me?" Lin Nan's voice was full of anger. He was not used to someone daring to challenge him. The woman smiled slightly, and her voice revealed a mysterious power. "I am the messenger of the Lord of the Desert, representing justice and protection." Lin Nan sneered, his eyes full of disdain. "Justice and protection? Ridiculous. You puny beings can't stop me at all." The woman did not respond, but a trace of determination flashed in her eyes. We will always guard this land and prevent any evil from eroding it. Lin Nan smiled coldly, Guardian. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop me from becoming the master of the universe. His words were full of arrogance and conceit, and he believed that his power could no longer be stopped by anyone. However, at this moment, a powerful energy suddenly came from a distance, shaking the entire desert. Did you feel it? The woman's voice was full of hope. That is the light of hope. It will dispel the darkness and save the entire universe. Lin Nan frowned slightly. He could feel the energy fluctuations coming from the distance, which made him feel uneasy. Impossible. His voice was full of anger. No power can stop me. However, the energy fluctuations in the distance are getting stronger and stronger, permeating the entire desert, like a bright hope, lighting up the way forward. With the arrival of the Time Variation Authority (TVA), the atmosphere becomes even more tense. They wear uniforms and behave rigorously. They have obviously undergone strict training and selection. Where is this? A TVA agent asked, their eyes scanning the surroundings and observing the surrounding situation vigilantly. Lin Nan stood on the high ground, staring ahead indifferently. He knows that the arrival of TVA means that his plans may be hindered, and he must deal with it carefully. This is a desert place, you shouldn't come here. Lin Nan's voice was cold and arrogant. I have everything under control, you can't stop me at all. The TVA agents exchanged glances with each other, knowing that this was no ordinary mission. They were sent to this desert place to solve a crisis that might affect the stability of the universe. We are just performing our mission. A TVA agent calmly replied, your actions have caused a time rift, and we must take action to repair it. Lin Nan sneered, time difference. No matter what you do, you can't change the fact that I have control of the universe. TVA's agents looked around silently, their eyes full of determination. We will do our best to protect the stability of the universe, and you can't stop us. As the conversation progressed, the atmosphere became increasingly tense. There was a tense atmosphere in the desert, as if a fierce conflict might break out at any time. Agents of the Time Variation Administration (TVA) quickly launched operations in the desert, and they realized that the offset problem of the timeline must be solved as soon as possible. They spread out, searching for the source that might cause the timeline to shift. At the same time, Lin Nan stood on the top of the desert. He could feel the vibration of the timeline, which made him feel uneasy. He knew that TVA's arrival meant that his plans might be seriously disrupted, and he had to take action. I can't let them ruin my plan. Lin Nan whispered to himself, his eyes fixed on the distance, looking for threats lurking deep in the desert. Suddenly, he felt a familiar energy fluctuation, a bright light flashed, and a figure appeared in front of him. Lin Nan, you have caused the timeline to shift. A mysterious voice rang in his ears, your actions have caused instability in the universe. You must stop immediately. Lin Nan looked at the person in front of him indifferently, his eyes full of vigilance. Who are you? How dare you stop me? The mysterious man slowly removed his veil, revealing a familiar and mysterious face. I am the guardian of the heart of the universe. I represent the order and balance of the universe. Lin Nan frowned slightly, Guardian. I've never heard of you. The Guardian smiled slightly, I have been hiding at the edge of the universe, guarding the secrets and balance of the universe. Your actions have destroyed this balance, and I must stop you. Lin Nan's eyes became cold, I will not be stopped by anyone. I have controlled the power of the universe, and no one can stop me. A trace of vigilance flashed in the Guardian's eyes, your power comes from darkness, and you have embarked on a dangerous path. If you don't stop, the universe will fall into endless darkness. Lin Nan sneered, darkness is also a kind of power, and I will use it to conquer the entire universe. The conversation between the two is full of confrontation and challenge, and they both know that this conflict will determine the fate of the universe. The appearance of the female captain gave the situation a new turn. She is a tall woman with a determined gaze, wearing a TVA uniform and holding a sparkling energy stick. There is a calmness and determination in her demeanor, as if she is ready to face any challenge. The Lord of the Desert calmly faced Lin Nan's provocation, your power comes from darkness, and I represent justice and protection. This world will not succumb to evil. Their words were full of determination to confront each other. They knew that only by defeating each other could they defend what they cherished. In the desert, the forces of darkness and justice intertwined, launching a life and death battle. The wind and sand howled, the ground trembled, and the sky flashed with strong energy fluctuations. The battle between Lin Nan and the Lord of the Desert has entered a fierce stage. They continue to release powerful energy in an attempt to completely defeat the other party. During the battle, scars appeared on their bodies, but they still persisted and were unwilling to surrender to each other. They know that this battle will determine who can become the master of the universe, and they will never give up easily. Lin Nan, your behavior has violated the law of time, and you must be punished. The female captain's voice was firm and cold, and she faced Lin Nan without fear. Lin Nan looked at the female captain coldly, his eyes flashing with anger and disdain. You self-righteous guardians are not worthy of talking to me at all. The female captain ignored Lin Nan's provocation and walked straight towards Lin Nan, holding an energy stick. She knew that action must be taken now to prevent Lin Nan from causing more damage to the timeline. Lin Nan took a step back warily. He could feel the powerful energy emanating from the female captain. You want to stop me? Dream on. The female captain said no more. She quickly waved the energy stick in her hand, releasing bolts of lightning-like energy and heading straight for Lin Nan. Her movements were swift and precise, showing no mercy. Lin Nan hurriedly dodged. He tried hard to avoid the female captain's attack, but her energy stick seemed to be everywhere, putting Lin Nan in danger with every swing. In the fierce confrontation, the female captain finally found an opportunity and knocked Lin Nan to the ground with one blow. Let me go, Lin Nan roared, struggling hard to break free from the control of the female captain. The female captain was not afraid. She quickly put a collar that shone with blue light on Lin Nan. This was a special collar that could control time. Now you can no longer destroy the timeline. The female captain's voice was cold and firm. All your actions will be monitored and controlled by us. Lin Nan roared angrily, but he knew that he could no longer escape the control of the female captain. You stupid people, you will never be able to stop me. However, the blue light emitted by the collar had begun to envelope Lin Nan's body, and he felt an irresistible force, imprisoning him in the cage of time. Lin Nan was placed under TVA's supervision. His power was strictly restricted and he could no longer cause any harm. However, after his trial, TVA agents discovered that Lin Nan's influence had caused a serious timeline shift and that measures must be taken to repair it. With the efforts of TVA's technical team, they found a tool that can reset time, which is called a time warper. The device looks like a glowing sphere with complex electronics and controls wrapped inside. This is our only hope, a TVA technical expert said. If we cannot repair the timeline, the entire universe will fall into chaos. TVA's agents decided to take the time twister to the place where the timeline was most severely shifted in order to reset time and restore order to the universe. They gathered together and prepared to embark on this dangerous mission. We must proceed with caution, a TVA agent warned. The time warper has huge amounts of power, and if used improperly, it may cause greater disasters. The agents nodded silently. They knew the danger of the task, but they also knew that this was the only hope. They are ready. No matter what challenges they will encounter ahead, they will go all out. The shift of the timeline in the desert has caused serious chaos. Wind and sand are raging, the sky is overcast, and it seems as if the whole world is trembling. TVA agents came to the center of this timeline shift and prepared to activate the time warper. Start planning, an agent ordered. TVA's technical experts quickly activated the time warper, which glowed brightly. The energy of the time warper began to surge in the air, distorting the surrounding time and space. The agents stood aside and witnessed this spectacular scene, filled with anticipation and nervousness. They know that once the time twister is activated, it means that they will face an unknown challenge. Suddenly, the time warper made a harsh buzzing sound, and the entire desert began to shake violently. A bright light shot out from the time warper, covering the entire desert, shrouding everything in a dazzling light. The agents closed their eyes tightly, and they could feel the distortion and changes of space and time around them. After the light dissipated, they slowly opened their eyes and found that they had arrived in a brand new world. The effect of the time warper has been exerted, the timeline has been recalibrated, and the order of the universe has been restored. The agents breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that their mission had been accomplished. Traveling through the time and space gate and arriving at the TVA headquarters is like traveling through an endless distance in the universe. The agents and Lin Nan came to this huge and advanced facility, which is a secret base hidden in the center of the universe and is responsible for supervising and managing the stability of the timeline. TVA's headquarters is huge and magnificent, with complex architectural structure and full of futuristic technology. The agents brought Lin Nan to a special courtroom to prepare for his trial and disposal. Lin Nan, there is no doubt about your crime. A senior TVA official said seriously, your actions have seriously affected the order and stability of the universe, and you must accept severe punishment. Lin Nan stood in the courtroom with cold and arrogant eyes. He seemed not afraid of his fate. You stupid people, think you can control time. You simply can't understand my power. The agents are calm and determined. They know that this trial is crucial and must be conducted strictly in accordance with the regulations. Your arrogance led to your downfall, one agent said. Now it's time to pay for your crimes. When the trial process began, TVA's agents presented a large amount of evidence, proving that Lin Nan's actions seriously affected the stability of the timeline and posed huge amounts of threats to the universe. Lin Nan tried to defend, but his words were full of anger and disdain. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.